I'm going to assume we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Storytime Network, where it is once again the Paradox Hour, and we are once again discussing some anime. Today is, of course, the premiere stream. We have started a new season of anime. It is quite a bit drier than previous seasons, for which we are actually quite glad about. And yes, it is summer.
Yeah.
Summer is, of course, historically the season that killed the original anime FMK.
And also, it has been really the weakest season for the past several years.
But seriously, on that topic,
of 2019. Yeah.
Well, 2019. Wait, 2019. What happened in summer 2019?
That was Fire Force, Dr. Stone, and Vinland Saga.
Oh, that's
and a bunch of other
I think
stuff.
That's the sole exception.
To be fair,
that was the lone exception.
To be fair, 2019 was just stacked overall.
Yeah. And then to be fair to summer 2020, that was when COVID really hit.
So 2020 can't really be counted in any sort of listing.
Meaningful way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always think of summer as like the breather season. Because even now, you look at fall, and that's got like Komi. You could probably have like Demon Slayer on there.
I mean, it's certainly it's gotta have Demon Slayer on there. They keep saying it's gonna air in 2021.
They keep saying 2021. That's the only season left.
Yeah, basically.
So unless they're gonna go like, Chinese 2021, where Chinese New Year starts a few months into regular 2021. Like, I think it's gonna be fall.
They pull Attack on Titan to start in December. 2021.
I mean, Attack on Titan did that because they didn't have a full 2 seasons of episodes. They had 16?
No, it was 16.
They had 16.
It was 16.
Yeah.
It was basically a winter show that started early.
So they just started in the middle of fall and then ran the rest of it in winter.
Yeah.
Because they like to be special over there at Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Except,
it was a special show.
Spoiler warning, the ending was just worse Code Geass.
And everyone lost their shit.
And I can say that for sure now because I have not only has Jack told me that, but a friend of mine has also told me that. Another friend of mine.
I think I was talking about it as well when it came out because everyone was reacting.
Very possible.
Anyway,
but anyway,
that's later. That's another stream.
We'll talk about Attack on Titan at some point, I'm sure, where we'll shit upon it endlessly. But anyway,
no.
Summer premieres. Summer premieres. So first things first, before we get it out of the way, I know we previously said we were boycotting Uramichi because it looked shady as shit. In fairness, that's on me. I misinterpreted how creepy it was. Apparently, it's just depressing. Who knew?
It's just depressing. I was planning on watching it anyway. I just wasn't able to watch it before the stream.
Yeah, so we won't be talking. We won't be talking about it today, but in the 3-episode check-in in how many weeks is that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Jeez, 2 weeks.
Some people will already anime will already have 5 episodes out by then.
Oh god, yes. I mean, Scarlet Nexus already has 4, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, Stardust. I think Boy Riverside.
Yeah, but anyway, we will cover Uramichi in the 3-episode check-in. Whether it lives after that will depend on how Koni feels about it, because I know I'm not going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
I have enough things to get me depressed about the world. I don't need an anime doing it.
You just need to watch the news, or just go on Twitter. Yeah, that's all you need if you want to be depressed.
But starting the stream today is a strong one. It is Aquatope of White Sand.
Which is my favorite premiere of the season, honestly.
Which is fair. It was also very high up in my list. I think it was second on my list. So first things first, it's very possible that PA Works misspelled the title. Because Aquatope doesn't mean jack shit.
I don't think it's a word.
It's not a word. However, when you Google aquatrope definition, it is apparently some sort of art sculpture that is part locomotion, part sculpture, and tells a story of life and water, which seems quite fitting for what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably a case of the of English hitting the title.
Well, apparently
Title name
it's
card.
apparently in katakana and does actually say aquatope, but that's why I'm saying PA Works may have actually misspelled the katakana and are now too embarrassed to take it back.
That is fair.
Or maybe they just say maybe it is actually supposed to be aquatope, and we'll find out in the show what aquatope means. I don't know. We'll have to see what the fuck happens.
It might just be a mistake, though.
But yeah, this was a really good opening episode.
Just a really good show, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the art for the whole thing was really good. Like the background art was gorgeous. The character animation was really good.
The one thing I was not worried about for this was art, because it's got the same team as Irazuku, and that was gorgeous. Yeah. That was absolutely gorgeous.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I did like. I did quite like the bonding with the fortune teller.
That was a neat scene. That ran the risk of going like really badly by like doing the whole stereotypical ethnic fortune teller thing, but no, it turns out she's just a really really put upon working woman who's just tired of having to cater to tourists.
Yeah.
Which is a nice subversion.
Yeah. So she told one of our protagonists, Miyazawa Fuka, to follow Sagittarius. Is either of you Sagittarius?
Nope.
I mean,
I am an Aries.
I mean, I don't know. I never remember exactly what my star sign is. I think that's also because I'm right on a border.
I think I'm Virgo, and I just remember that, and I just don't really care.
I might be Leo. I can't remember. I don't care about star signs, frankly.
Leo is right before Virgo.
Do I?
But in doing so, she follows Sagittarius, ends up falling asleep on a beach, which I would not recommend in the height of summer. You will like get burned quite badly. Sand gets fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no surprise that she then nearly succumbed to heat stroke. But that's where I would say the interesting part happens, because she gets recommended to go to Gamma Gamma Aquarium, where she has quite the encounter with the supernatural.
Yeah, I do like the magical realism of this show. Like, it doesn't seem to be overplayed into too high urban fantasy or anything, but
well,
there are strong hints that it's like, oh, there's some supernatural shit going on here. This is interesting.
On the subject of the supernatural stuff, so at the end, our other protagonist, Misakino... That can't be right.
Kukuru.
Kukuru, yeah. I wrote Fuka again, because I'm an idiot. Didn't notice. But our other protagonist...
This ain't no Nana shit.
Our other protagonist, Misakino Kukuru, who is the teenage director of the aquarium, mentions that Fuka might have had an encounter with the Kijimuna. Now, I have Googled Kijimuna, and according to Wikipedia, so, you know, they are creatures of mythology native to the island of Okinawa, and they are said to look around 3 or 4 years old and have red hair. Now, a child-sized, red-haired figure made several appearances throughout the episode, which I thought was quite interesting. It also took Fuka's hat, if I remember correctly.
You did remember correctly. It did take her hat.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I absolutely adore shows that play into mythology, because mythology is so interesting.
It is fascinating stuff.
But I'm definitely interested to see where this goes from here on out. I mean, there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief necessary that Fuka literally just got on a plane to Okinawa.
Remember, she is a former idol, so
she is a former idol. she has a former idol, and she is 18 years old. So again, I can see that, but it's less the money and more the fact that there was, you know, like a ticket available, I guess.
Fair enough.
Like, most flights nowadays are booked up solid, like, a good couple of weeks before the flight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where this goes.
As am I. I am half hoping that it will be, that will go in the Yuri direction, but I
mean,
don't...
yeah.
I don't want to get my hopes up too much.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed it will happen. I mean, certainly the interaction in the first episode definitely had those vibes, I feel, but I could be projecting.
I mean, yeah, it's too early at this point. There's still, like...
They've only just
the
met,
friendship
yeah.
made before it gets to that point, you know?
They've only just met, and so we shouldn't push it too far. But yeah, no, this is definitely...
Plus, it is a two-core.
It's a two-core as well, which, you know, I've watched premieres for quite a few two-core shows over the last few seasons, and most of them have been utter garbage because, well, not garbage, but they've just felt so slow. This didn't feel that way. This felt really well paced for the premiere of a 24 episode show.
So it makes you wonder where it's gonna go.
As I said, I have faith. It's PA Works. It's a team that worked on Irazuku. Irazuku, I mean, it got sort of... it was sort of the underdog in the fall 2018 season that was just so good.
That was just stacked. Yeah.
It was such a stacked season. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a season to start watching seasonal anime for me, because Jesus, there was so much to do.
Oh God.
But like, Irazuku was one of my favorite shows. Where did I put it in 2018? Actually, was 2018 there? I think it was certainly top 10. Yeah, top 10. It was 8th, and I would probably put it higher now, frankly. Now that my tastes have changed just a little bit, but it was consistently beautiful. It made me cry at the end 3 times actually during the finale.
It also made me cry at the end. It was a good show.
I was really hoping for that to be good, so I'm happy people think it's good.
Yeah. So as I said, it's the same team. I have faith that they'll be able to pull this off. Even if it's not Yuri, they'll still tell a really good story, I think.
Oh, wow.
However, moving on to a show that is less good. Battle in 5 Seconds of Meeting.
Oh yeah, I watched this.
So did I. Obviously, well, I told you guys this during the PV stream that we do every season, so that we can, you know, check out shows. Fucking Catgirl's voice is going to kill me.
I couldn't hear the stream during that, so I didn't know what you were talking about. And now that I've actually watched it, it's something.
It's something awful. It is it's awful. Annoying. Oh my God. It makes me want to stab pens into my ears. Like,
yeah, I can understand that.
Jesus. I mean, way to make you dislike a character, so fair play on that, because I do think she is supposed to be the villain, maybe.
She's supposed to be one of the bad guys.
But, I mean, it's also kind of hard.
Again, she's a cute cat girl, so maybe.
I don't know. But it's also kind of hard to get into a character who is fairly sociopathic, if we're completely honest.
There's only a handful of sociopathic characters I can get behind, and usually that's if they are villains who are loving it.
I mean,
entertaining in the process.
His literal reaction to stabbing a dude in the stomach, who admittedly was trying to attack him, but he still stabbed him in the stomach and killed him, was, "Yay, I completed the game." And it's like, you're taking this well.
No, he was like one of those guys that was just like bored with everything, because he was like very smart, and I'm like, that's pretty typical of like the protagonists like these, I guess. I feel like I've seen that type of archetype before.
I mean, for sure.
Although,
I mean, it's definitely a common archetype.
I do like his ability. It does open up the possibility for like some interesting mind games, at least.
Oh no, his
But
ability
like,
is one of the two interesting things about this show. The other being
what's the other one?
the other being that Murase is voicing this main character.
Oh,
Murase,
I didn't
yeah,
realize that.
he's showing his fucking range today because like Jesus.
I did not real. I forgot he did. I forgot.
I
did
didn't.
not hear it.
I was able to tell, but even then, like he's definitely showing his range. Battle in 5 seconds after meeting. It is this season's death game anime, and it is
or battle game in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
that's what it's called in English.
Battle game, death game, whatever.
He's more, but like he's definitely more on like the blander side. I mean, like there isn't really much to. He's not really all that compelling.
No,
maybe the
not.
other characters might be interesting. Then again, I'm like a sucker for death battle game anime, so I'm gonna watch this anyway.
I am not. The only thing keeping me from watching
won't.
3 episodes is Murase himself.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with you, Murase, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also, I mean, the act. Did any of you guys take issue with like the visuals? Like, I feel like it didn't like. Click.
I mean, the visuals weren't great, if I'm brutally honest. They weren't like terrible.
No. I'm like, it seems like the individual parts are fine, but it doesn't come together all that well. Like the overly detailed backgrounds with those character designs, and those like character designs and all those colors and stuff. I don't know. It just didn't. I can't say
I especially noticed, but at the same time, I was, strongly putting my fingers into my ears to stop hearing that fucking cat girl.
I mean, I was watching Drugstore before this, and then I watched Sonny Boy and Idaten Dieties afterwards, so it kind of...
I mean, in fairness...
What a roller coaster of quality there.
I mean, in fairness, Sonny Boy and Idaten Deities are two of the most, like, visually stylish shows this season.
Yeah.
So, I mean... anything's gonna seem sort of dull after that, I suppose.
It wasn't much of a roller coaster. What a bit of a spoil. A lot of the shows were like, they're okay. Some were better than others. Obviously, we'll get to those shows.
Oh no, I'm very glad about this. I'm very glad about this season. I'm probably not going to watch more than 10 shows this season, which I'm very happy about. Certainly saves me a lot of time.
It's really hard to justify watching more than 10 for me. Like, some of the shows are going to get dropped. Beyond the ones that dropped.
But yeah, Battle in 5 seconds is... As I said, it's not bad.
It's a death game anime. If you like it, then if you like that type of stuff, you'll probably like this.
Yeah. I mean, fair play to it for killing off its appearing to kill off its main character in like the first half of the episode after Catgirl just fucking blasted him.
I was like, wait, what? Although it was a bit confusing for me because he was like, okay, so this is like an unwinnable matchup. So I'm like, the game isn't, and then he's like, the game isn't over, right? And I'm like,
I was kind of hoping it was.
Over.
I was kind of hoping it was. That'd be quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if they just switched the protagonists.
Yeah. But no, they didn't. I mean, we haven't discussed who is the other main character, Amakage Yuri, mainly because she didn't get to do much in the first episode.
She didn't do much in episode 1. She was just like there asking questions. I mean, there's like a whole side cast. One of the other girls seems to have sinister motivations.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. There's also Yuichi Nakamura in this show. So another favorite of mine. So I'll give it the 3 episodes. I doubt it'll last much longer than that unless it does actually manage to do some interesting things with Akira's power.
Yeah.
Moving on to a show Go ahead.
Moving on to what?
No, go ahead. You say what you say, and then I was going to segue.
I'll probably watch this. At least 3 episodes, so we can move on.
Moving on to a show I have higher hopes for, the case study of Vanitas.
Oh, okay.
This one is aesthetic as fuck.
It's also super gay, y'all.
Oh yeah, super homoerotic vibes between the two leads.
I
He
mean,
should have created Pandora Hearts, so I'm not really surprised about that. Although
That
Bones.
explains so much.
I mean, Jesus Christ! Just watch the fucking OP and tell me that doesn't seem like the opening to a romance anime. It's
I haven't
basically
watched it yet.
it's basically Vanitas and Noe going on a fucking date.
Yeah, just walking around Paris.
Yeah.
Round the City of Love? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it's extremely homoerotic.
Yeah. This is a show that stars Natsuki Hanai being hammy as fuck, as he is generally wont to do, which is always fun.
Oh yeah.
But also interesting is Kaito Ishikawa as Noe, which is not... I would not say it's his typical role. He doesn't tend to voice the sort of... I would say Noe is a bit ditzy.
Noe is a lovable goofball.
Oh, he's absolutely a lovable goofball.
Yeah, most of the cast hasn't shown up yet, but Natsuki Hanai and Kaito Ishikawa have great vocal chemistry with one another.
Oh no, they play off each other really well. And it's yeah, I mean, it was an enjoyable premiere. It's yet another vampire anime, which starting another streak. Yeah, because there wasn't one in
winter, but
there was
we had one in...
There was one in fall 2020, and then spring with Mars Red.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will...
I believe there's going to be at least one vampire anime next season as well.
Yeah, I believe I remember seeing that as well.
Oh yeah, Vampire died for no time. Yeah, I can't watch that.
But yeah, no, as Jack said, this is quite aesthetic as well. But it is also a lot goofier than I was sort of expecting, which is not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all, because the humor did manage to hit. If the humor hadn't managed to hit, I probably would have been a little bit, less enthusiastic about it. But it was amusing. It was funny. Vanitas got hit in the head by some rubble and fell out of the fucking blimp.
Vanitas is an asshole, but it's entertaining to see him suffer because of this.
Mm-hmm. And it honestly surprises me that Vanitas is not human, because did you see the fucking nails on that man? They look like claws.
No, he's supposedly human.
Supposedly human. We'll find out if he actually is. Supposedly.
Probably isn't if he's the main character.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, Noe is a vampire, which, again,
Oh, we are discussing the case study of Vanitas to address the commenter.
So,
yes.
I hear this is one of the better shows of this season.
No, it is,
So,
and because
that's a high bar.
Yeah,
it's not a high bar.
And because it's Bones, it obviously looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Bones.
I mean, not to jinx anything or anything, or but has Bones ever made a bad looking anime?
Not to my knowledge.
Certainly in the last sort of 5 years.
And yes, we have. Some of us have seen Hellsing. This is not remotely like Hellsing.
I mean, it's not as
beyond vampires.
It's currently not as grimdark. I would say it's got a similar sort of vein of silliness that Hellsing had.
I can see that.
But
I don't think it's a really good comparison, though.
No. I mean, just this seems. I mean, if nothing else, Hellsing also focused on Nazis, which this does not.
This is pre-Nazi.
This is pre-Nazi. This is 18th century?
Late 1800s. I think it's late 18th.
This is like
19th century. 19th century.
19th century, yeah. Late 1800s, so pre-World War One, pre-Nazis.
I mean, it surprises me that
existence.
Hmm?
But yeah.
I mean, it does seem like it's not, typical 19th century, because, I may not have focused much on 19th century history, but I'm fairly sure that they didn't have airships that size and that capable of, like,
No, this is
taking
like
I'm
people.
fairly sure they didn't
Gaslamp
have vampires either.
fantasy steampunk.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful blend of genres, in my
It's
opinion.
it's one here. It's a unique setting, a blend of different settings.
I mean, yeah, steampunk is always a nice aesthetic. And this just seems like it's going to be really flashy just with the outfits in general.
And the animation, too, because...
Also, we have a cat.
The cat's name is Mur, and said cat is adorable.
Yeah.
Huh, that's neat.
Also has heterochromia.
Oh, that's neat.
Which is, pretty cool. But moving on to the next show on our list. Cheat Pharmacist, Slow Life, Making a Drugstore in Another World. Take it away, because I have no interest in
light
Isekai.
novel title.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is a light novel title. Oh, I didn't think we'd get to this already. Let me open up my notes.
I mean, there just aren't that many shows in general, let alone before C, which is for Cheats Pharmacist. So.
Yeah, Cheat Pharmacist. I thought it was called Drugstore in Another World, but I guess we're gonna go with Cheat Pharmacist. Yeah, this felt half baked, to be honest. Like, I think it was trying to do something like a laid back tone, but like, because it's like you have all these bright backgrounds and you have this upbeat music and cute character designs, and it's just like, but I don't know, like animation wise, it wasn't all that good. Like one of them's supposed to be a ghost girl, and there's this little part near the top of her head where it like trails off, but like, and it like supposed to fade, but like it's not really all that noticeable, and it doesn't really move either.
I mean, in terms of the animation, I've just looked at the studio did previously. They admittedly did Kuma 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 Bear, which was apparently quite well received. But before that, they did A Destructive God Sits Next to Me, which I utterly despised.
Oh yeah, that was okay.
And they also did good old Assassin's Pride.
Oh, that.
Okay.
The show that covered 4 volumes and 4 episodes.
Fucking hell.
Wait, that actually happened? Oh,
that actually happened. 4 volumes, 4 episodes. Okay. And then it had the fucking gall to, after having rushed its pacing, to have a fucking Halloween episode where nothing happened. The utter gall of that. The utter gall. Having, skipped what was shaped up to be a really fucking cool fight. They showed, like, the 2 meeting, and then they skipped to the very end of that fight. I'm still annoyed about Assassin's Pride. It had such a cool... Yeah. It had a genuinely fairly cool gimmick, and it ruined it. But we're talking about Cheats Pharmacist, so...
We're talking about... Alright, to continue, the point of what I was trying to make is that it was kind of easy to, like, I feel like it'd be easy to forget that she was a ghost if it wasn't for, like, some of the jokes. And if it wasn't for, like, some of the, like, a few jokes here and there.
Yeah.
And was this really, like, did this really need to be an isekai? I guess they haven't really explained the backstory behind the characters yet, but I'm like...
No,
the only thing that...
No show needs to be an isekai.
Yeah, well, you say that, but like the only thing they did with like the fact that it was an isekai was that like in the middle of the episode, like in the end of the second segment when the rich boy gives him money, we'll get to that part. But when the rich boy gives him money, he's like, God and he does like a normies. He makes a normies explode comment, and I'm like, that is like the one thing That's like the one thing that indicates that he's from another world. Because I don't think he'd say that. But like other than that, you could really just take out his isekai backstory, and it wouldn't be anything similar. Again, it's just that one joke, and then he's just your typical. I mean, and then you have like I'm gonna call it crafting because or the brewing. Like, oh yeah, brewing. He brews like potions, but like we don't get to see like how he actually brews the potions. It's just like everything he brews is a montage. Like, I took a lot of notes, and yeah, here I am not using them. We don't have much of an idea how the world works either, especially when it comes to how crafting stuff like potions and tea and deodorants work. We're just told that Reiji has a cheat that allows him to do all of it, and that's about it. The actual crafting happens in short montages. No explanation of the ingredients used and all that. It just happens. You kind of need the sort of world building, and the show doesn't have it for me, which sucks hard. We're told that those potions normally taste bad, but we don't really see how that's a problem. You can only infer, I guess. We're also, so the most
real quick, we are doing these in alphabetical order, and we aren't covering all the sequels because not all of us watched the previous material. So
yeah,
I don't think any of us watched Higurashi, did we?
None of us watched Higurashi, so we can't really comment on its
I
the
mean,
sequel to its sequel.
I watched the old Higurashi, but I haven't watched the sequel because that was a while ago.
I mean, I've heard it's pretty good, but that's about it. I can't really say anything too in depth.
Going back to Heat Pharmacist, like, ironically, the most entertainment segment for me was like the whole thing with the rich guy and his girlfriend, because it's such a left turn. It's like he's just running away from her, and it's just like you have this laid back atmosphere. Then you have this, he's frantically running away from her, and she's like crazy and like paranoid and all that. She's like crazy and all that, and it kind of just, I was kind of entertained by that. But like, the problem with that is that, to put it succinctly, if your girlfriend is so paranoid that even accidentally bumping into its shoulders into another girl's cause for major concern and gets her screaming at you, let alone chase you with a knife, which is what happens in this episode. That she shouldn't really be your girl. That she really shouldn't be your girlfriend.
That's not that's not really paranoia. That's more homicidal rage and yandere tendencies.
No. It's like he literally bumps into a girl by accident, and then she goes to that. She just gets all paranoid about it. And
I can't say I like that.
Yeah. It made for some good over the top humor, but it's not like a good look, especially since like the way they solve this is like, okay, he makes her tea that allows her to calm down because he still likes her because he still thinks she's cute. Because he still thinks she's cute like when she calms down, so he just makes her some tea. I'm like, if you have to make tea from a goddamn tea pharmacist just for this to work out, I don't know if this is gonna work out, but you do you, I guess.
Sir, you are dating a girl who is not exactly stable. You should not be dating her. You should be getting her a therapist.
I found it entertaining, but I'm like, come on. I'm like, really? I found it entertaining though. Besides that part, I don't think it's all that offensive. Besides that one part, I could see how some people might find that offensive, but like, it's inoffensive and it can be pretty cute. There's like a brick joke with the old man. Like, the old man's just working and he's going slow, and like at the very end of the episode, he tries out a super potion. He tries out one of those potions that tastes good and gives him energy, and he like finishes his job. I thought that was pretty funny. And sometimes it can be pretty cute. But it's like, the whole thing felt half-baked. There wasn't really much to the characters or the world or the story. And I know I was trying to go for the laid-back vibe, but I kind of wanted something more. I kind of like, I guess I wanted like a little more from that, just to be like really absorbed into the world. They didn't really give me that, so it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be free. It's gonna be one of those forgotten shows anyway. I don't think I'll watch another episode of this.
That is completely fair. It seems like one of the worst isekais this season. Though I don't think it's going to be one on my list that we will get to shortly.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think it's all that bad. I just think I don't think it's like bad or boring. It's just there or whatever. Some people
That
might
might
like
be
it.
the worst
Some
thing
people
it
might
could
not.
be.
No, I was I mean, I wasn't bored. So there's that. But it's
That's
gonna be
fair.
forgotten. It's definitely gonna be forgotten about after this season. So
But
we can move
moving
on.
on to D underscore side Traumerei the animation.
The fuck is with that title?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I've just been calling it D side. So the good news is there has been a sort of benefit to watching X-Arm beyond the hilarity of how bad it was. If the CG in an anime now is half decent, it can only go up from there, which is about this. This is a 3D anime, and it's.
Man, well, when we get to Duke of Death, I have some words about that.
I mean, I have some serious words about Duke of Death, but for D side,
Okay.
it's fairly generic. But at least it is an X-Arm.
There's not anything. Yeah.
I mean, it's the basic premise is the main character Oda Ryuhei is a normal pink hair having kickboxing game playing teenager until he gets bitten by something and then he gets attacked in his dreams by hand dogs.
The fuck?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
That sounds weird.
They also have chosen the sort of like special name for their transformation to be Knock Her Up, which they say in English, which which is not great. They probably should have thought about this one a little bit more.
Could you say that again? Could you say that again?
Knock her up. Knock her up.
God.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad show, honestly. It's better than a decent proportion of the shows that I've watched this season or watched the premieres of. Certainly, could definitely be worse. It's definitely getting 3 episodes out of me because it does have room to be interesting, and if nothing else, them yelling "knock her up" every time they transform and have a magical girl transformation, I should point out occasionally, is going to be hilarious. So, I mean, I'll give them that. But I mean, yeah. I don't really remember any other character other than Oda. I think there were 2 like preteens, maybe. I'm not sure. Also, main character's brother died in a way reminiscent to how the villain of the episode died, who was a jealous gamer. Like he got his high score beaten, and so he like accepted Satan. I think he like made a deal with some supernatural being that just turned him crazy and sent him after his rival. And then once they defeated the monster, the gamer was sort of comatose, I think. I don't think he was actually dead, but certainly comatose. I mean, it's vaguely interesting. As I said, there are far worse shows this season. And speaking of those far worse shows, the detective is already dead.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I hated this.
I know a lot of people were. I know some people were. Okay, here's the. I haven't watched this yet, but I just want to give my like perspective on things. Like I knew there was a couple of people like in some circles of mine in Twitter that were really excited for it, and then it aired, and I'm like hearing like 5. How many people we know dropped this?
I did.
I know, like,
No, I've not dropped it yet.
it
I'm
already.
gonna watch one more episode, and because the premiere was double length, I'm saying that means I've watched 3 episodes worth of content and can drop it.
Okay, yeah,
Completely
that's
fair.
loophole.
Because I'm
you
not
guys can
watching
talk
2
about it.
more
I'm planning
episodes
on
of this.
watching this anyway.
This was
So I'm
just...
gonna mute for a bit.
I mean, first things first, why did it need to be a double length premiere? Why? It was
I don't know.
It was
Apparently
two
most of it
separate
was-
stories.
It was just 2 separate stories.
Basically,
I
they
think
could have.
it was meant to establish Siesta as a character before killing her off at the end of the premiere.
Here's the thing: I don't care about Siesta. I don't care about Kimihiko. They're both boring as fuck. They are not.
Fair.
They are not interesting, and they have zero chemistry with each other.
Honestly, I can't really fault you for that that take.
Like it felt like I don't think they purposefully tried to do this, but it felt like they tried to go for a similar vibe in terms of the relationship between the 2 leads as like Bunny Girl Senpai, that like sort of very snark combat relationship, and it didn't work because they have no chemistry. Like Bunny Girl worked because the 2 leads actually, fit together. Like you could actually see them being together. These 2, I can't see it. They just like, not to mention, like she realizes that there is a drug ring at the school, and then takes it out somehow. Like they don't explain how it's done. They just like jump out the window, I think, and then it's suddenly resolved.
I don't really understand the second half of the premiere, honestly.
I didn't especially understand the first half, because she went to all that trouble to talking the fucking hijacker down and was like, "What, you're giving up? What the fuck, man? Like, you won. Why are you pushing this?"
Fights back.
Yeah.
Also, I will say the one unambiguously good thing about this premiere was absolutely that animation.
Oh yeah,
it
looked good, but it's the same old story with Studio Engi. The shows can look good as much as they want, but if the plot is shit and the characters are shit, I'm still not watching it.
I believe Jeff Thu described this scene as 30 seconds of beautifully polished dog turd.
Yeah. I really just don't know what I was supposed to like about this episode. I mean, not to mention the whole bit of Siesta basically planning out every single little bit of both stories was like, well, if she does that, then why the fuck am I supposed to feel tension? Why the hell am I supposed to care? I mean, not that I cared anyway, because I don't care about the characters, but you're not giving me any other reasons to care.
It's really difficult to pull off a chess, especially if they aren't a difficult protagonist that the protagonist is supposed to overcome.
Yeah.
Like, if the character knows everything that's going to happen and has planned for everything that's going to happen and arranged events so that they go their way, that's not really a compelling character unless A, something goes wrong, or B, someone else is actively trying to derail them and might actually succeed at doing so.
Tell you what, I think it would have been better had the show started with Siesta already dead. Spent the first episode, make it a 45-minute premiere if you really must. I don't agree with it, but if you must, and have Kimihiko have flashbacks to his time with Siesta, because they spent 3 years with each other apparently somehow, and then end the episode with this the reveal that there is a girl who looks uncannily like Siesta. Like that I feel like that would have made things a little better. But you know, it is what it is. I ain't gonna, as I've said, I'm gonna watch one more episode of this and then it's gone. I guarantee it. I would be utterly shocked if it managed to pull this out of the fire.
Mm.
If this actually managed to save itself with the second episode, it'll be the biggest shock I've ever seen, frankly.
Hey, Mill, real quick, could you post the list of shows we're going to be talking about in the chat so that people can see and
Yeah,
follow
probably
along?
should. This might take a bit of doing just because of the sequels that I've got to skip over.
Yeah.
Copy, paste,
Oh, yeah.
copy, paste, and copy. Oh. Gonna have to do it in 2 messages.
That should be fine.
That is not
all clumped together.
That is not as put together as I hoped it would be. God damn it.
Probably gonna have to use commas.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has the potential to be an interesting concept this episode, and it has a lot of it has some good animation and such, and some good storyboarding, but the issue is in the storytelling, unfortunately.
Very much so, yeah.
And there is the additional problem of most of this episode is anime original. It's not actual stuff from the source material.
Oh, really?
Wow.
How do you know that?
Yeah, no. I believe, I don't know the details because I haven't read the novels, but most, if not all, of this content is anime original stuff.
How did you find that out? No.
A couple of sources on the internet, including a couple of the seasonal review videos posted by some prominent YouTubers.
Okay.
But yeah, bottom line, this could have been a lot better.
I mean, other than the animation, I was expecting Jackal from Detective Is Already Dead, just based on Enki, which probably isn't fair, but when your history includes Full Dive RPG, Kimono Michi, and Uzaki-chan, I'm gonna assume that you're probably not gonna make anything worth my while.
Oof, that is a fun track record right there.
I mean, Uzaki-chan I wouldn't say even probably is the best of those 3, but I hate it anyway because it's problematic material, frankly.
I mean, Uzaki is just kind of annoying at the very best.
Yeah. Kimono Michi, of course, had its issues with
a lot.
Assault, let's say. And Full Dive RPG was just there.
That was a miserable time. Anyways, let's move on to something that isn't a miserable time.
Duke of Death.
Okay.
Duke of Death and his maid. I dropped this about 7 minutes in.
Really?
There. I don't blame you.
Honestly,
to be fair, that's the worst part of it. That's the worst part of the episode. I will agree with that.
So if you just for the people watching, if you can make out the giant massive text that is that list, we are talking about Duke of Death, which is between Detective Is Already Dead and Dungeon of Black Company.
Okay. Why did you drop this, Mel? I'm kind of curious. I want to get your opinion.
First of all, the CG is not good.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint. Why is this CG?
When you have me going back like turning the episode back and watching something to make sure that I didn't actually imagine that they didn't animate Bochan actually just moving his mouth over the cookie and then just disappearing half of it, and then disappearing the other half when he takes another bite, in inverted commas. You know you fucked up somewhere in the animation sense. You know how I said D-side could only go up because at least it was animated better than X-Arm? This is animated better than X-Arm, but it's closer than would be preferable.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest complaint with Duke of Death. Like, again, my problem was just like, oh wait, oh no.
I mean,
okay.
my issue, my other issue is that, regardless of whether there's reciprocating interest on both sides, Bochan told Alice to stop, and Alice did not stop.
Yeah. I didn't really like that part in the beginning. Yeah.
Consent matters.
I mean, it doesn't help that, like, now that, like, we get to see, like, it doesn't help, the whole situation between them doesn't help as well, because then you just kind of feel bad for him, and it just kind of, like, because, like,
I mean, what is she gonna do? What is she gonna do if she does? I mean, she won't, because it's not that type of show. What would she do if she did accidentally go too far, touch Bochan, and she died? How do you think?
I mean, she wouldn't do anything. She'd be dead.
I mean, she wouldn't be doing anything. She might do something if the afterlife is a thing.
I don't know how he would. He would probably suffer. Because,
I mean, I would imagine that his life wouldn't last that much longer, but it's not that kind of show.
Yeah, it's not that kind of show at all. But, like, yeah, I do like. But yeah, I think the episode really picked up for me when, like, Philip came in, when he was about to meet Philip, because then it just takes this really sad turn, and it's just like, damn, I really feel for this guy, and then because, like, let me just again, it's honest because, like, the whole thing is that he can't be touched, or he can't touch anyone, and it's surprising how much. We express, like, love through physical intimacy. So touch
is such an important sense, and that's why this could have been so interesting had it been a serious take on that. Instead, it's a fucking comedy where the sexual harassment is rife. Also,
the first part was the weakest part for me. I like everything that happened afterwards, like the stuff with his mom, and then, like, the fact that Philip, who we thought had, like, a chance, who still, like, liked him and all that as a kid, and just actually sees him as a monster now. That really hurt. That really hit for me. You know, I ended up liking this a lot more, and a lot more than I thought. My biggest complaint again was with the CG, mainly because okay, I said it's not exactly bad. It's actually pretty okay, but it feels like the CG models don't really fit the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And it makes the people and objects feel, like, a little more lifeless. Like, the Maid already is, like, speaking in monotone and has those, like, and doesn't really, I don't know if she even blinks. Does she even blink?
I don't remember it. I wasn't looking out for it, but
it just
you are right. They feel
a lot more robotic.
They feel the models feel very plasticky.
Yeah. It just makes her. I don't think it hurts Bochan as much because, like, at least he emotes and animates and all that, and Natsuki Hanai is there.
Natsuki Hanai does a lot of heavy lifting. Natsuki Hanai does a lot of heavy lifting in the show.
I'm like, this voice sounds familiar, and then I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's Tanjiro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Tanjiro.
She's got a lot of roles.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because he's a really good voice actor. But yeah, the other thing is yeah, but the other thing is his powers are inconsistent. Like, he can destroy a flower through his gloves and a tree through his gloves, but he sits on the grass. He puts his hands on the grass. Nothing happens.
I think that's just an animation inconsistency.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
I think that might just be in the manga. I don't know.
I haven't read the manga.
I didn't
obviously.
notice that. I didn't notice that, but I don't think it's. I didn't really notice that, so maybe I'll have to go back.
I mean, I use my once per season of drop it at the first episode, so on this. So I mean, I do not have a good opinion of it.
Mm. It's kind of surprised that you used your drop episode on this show instead of like some other shows, because like I ended up liking this a lot more than I thought, because I heard this was good, and then found out it was CG, and I'm like, but then like I had to watch this for like the first episode. I'm like, okay, I like this, like the 2/3 more, the second, like the latter 2/3 enough that I want to keep watching more of this. I also like the OP. I really like the OP.
The OP is nice.
So
I mean,
yeah.
I could have easily used it on Detective Is Already Dead, but
Yeah.
like the Duke of Death was just like I just didn't want to keep going. Like it just didn't
fair.
interest me, and I knew I'd have to watch 3 episodes, and I was just already bemoaning the idea of having to watch 3 episodes of this, because it feels like it's not going to do anything that different either. It's always going to be jokes about Alice teasing in inverted commas Bochan.
Yeah, I think that'll be part of it. But like, how I saw it was just like, I'm not really into this. I don't really know the characters much enough for me to really get into it. So like, maybe if they have like more heartwarming moments and I'm really sold more on their relationship, then I'll be able to enjoy it more. So I'm gonna watch this.
As I said, it's not the first show that I've watched where I've despaired about it being a comedy rather than a serious take on its subject, and it won't be the last, but it is what it is. Moving on to another isekai on our list, Dungeon of Black Company.
How was that?
Bad, I'm gonna say.
Okay, apparently it wasn't good. Apparently it wasn't good.
The protagonist is such a colossal fucking asshole.
Yeah,
I did not enjoy.
I mean,
that's about par for the course based on the PV.
Isn't he like the CEO of a major company? I mean, he's basically guaranteed to be an asshole. Wait, he's not?
No. So the protagonist, his establishing character moment is him in the real world laughing his ass off because he accrued a bunch of funds through a combination of lucky and smart investments to the point that he doesn't have to work anymore, and he laughs at all the people who have to work day-to-day jobs while he gets to live in a penthouse apartment without working the rest of his life. And that's the first scene with him. And then when he gets dropped into another world, he gets forced into awful working conditions, and instead of learning his lesson about how awful things can be for the common worker, he decides to enslave his co-workers to make more money instead. And him getting his ass kicked after they break out of the mind control does not make it better. He is still an asshole, and I do not enjoy watching him. I am dropping this.
Okay. I thought it was just going to be like a comedy about him having... I thought it was just going to be like, oh, he's a CEO, and then he was like... He's a CEO who really treats his workers badly, and then he gets transported to another world, and he has to like suffer all this.
Again, this is a recurring theme with Japan. They make comedy out of stuff that shouldn't be made comedy.
Yeah, also, this is a time and an environment where this kind of stuff is just very ill-placed and ill-timed. What with, all the mucker turds and discount Lex Luthors running around being colossal dickheads abusing everyone.
It was like Shield Hero releasing like near the Me Too movement, I think, or something like that.
That was pretty terrible timing. That was pretty terrible timing, all told.
That was pretty terrible. But yeah, that was. I'm like. Yeah,
by the way, just so we can make this very clear now, we're not going to be covering Shield Hero next season or whenever it fucking comes out. And we will never be covering Shield Hero. We wouldn't have covered Shield Hero even if the first season was airing. We do not like Shield Hero.
Even now you have the whole thing with Activision. Although it's probably different, but still.
Oh yeah. Let's not talk about that. That's too political.
Let's not talk
Too
about
recent.
Activision.
Too recent.
I'll talk about Call of Duty.
Let's instead
move on.
talk about Fena Pirate
move on.
Princess. This has not aired. No Shield Hero. We're not talking about Shield Hero. If we ever talk about Shield Hero, it will be to shit on it. I guarantee you that.
Fena.
But
Fena's
talking
one of
about
my
Fena,
most
so this hasn't aired yet. This airs August 14th because it's also a Toonami production, which is kind of annoying, frankly.
I wish it premiered earlier, but we can't really.
It's a Crunchyroll. Okay. To put my 2 cents on it, like, okay, so I know that Crunchyroll has been on fire with their originals, and by on fire I mean like it's been a dumpster fire. Like,
some of them have been pretty good.
God was really good ones.
Tower of God is debatable, but yeah.
And then like, yeah, I'd argue Tower of God was pretty good. I know you didn't like it, but like production-wise,
it's not that I didn't like it.
Production-wise, it's been a dumpster fire, and then you have like and then like quality-wise, okay, I liked Inspector, and the only show that people can say is actually good is Tony Kawa, but even then. But
some people take issue with it, but I think Chronicles is probably the best.
Despite everything that's been happening with Crunchyroll and Crunchyroll Originals, I'm still like, this is the one I'm most anticipated shows this season.
Look,
I really want to watch Fena.
Yeah, I mean, just to discuss the Crunchyroll Originals, I'm looking at the stuff that on Mal that has apparently been produced by the Crunchyroll Anime Fund. There are some really good shows on here, because there's Recovery of an MMO Junkie all the way back in 2017.
I'm just talking about like,
really?
No. Crunchyroll has had a bunch of co-productions. Shield Hero was one of them, but like I'm talking about the ones they brand as originals.
Yes.
Like Tony Kawa, Tower of God, God of High School, Inspector.
I believe they did.
That's more recent.
I believe they also did Destructive God Sits Next to Me, which is
I don't know about. You're forgetting X-Arm, the greatest anime of all time.
X-Arm isn't on the list, as it turns out. They did not list it as being.
It was a Crunchyroll.
No, I'm well aware it is, but yeah. But anyway, Fena Pirate Princess. This looks really interesting. It's done by Production IG.
Really good.
It's an original.
We unfortunately won't be able to cover it until the mid-season check-in, I don't think, because 3 episode check-in is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this airs in 3.
When is the 3 episode check-in? What day?
2 weeks from now.
It is the 7th.
God.
Yeah.
The whole week away.
Yeah. It's a shame. It is a shame.
This better be good.
I have faith. I have faith that this is going to be good.
I have faith.
This looks really good.
They released a new trailer, and it looks. Again, I'm excited for this.
I don't need to watch another trailer. I'm already invested.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more of it before it airs.
Oh, same.
Yeah. I don't think I'll watch any more trailers, but hey, I'm interested in it. It helped really bolster the season because I'm pretty sure like when I did, I'm pretty sure like the highest friggin' because like I'm doing like I usually do like AniList percentages for the season. Like the highest thing, and like the highest rated anime that's still currently airing. The 2 highest are from last season. That's To Your Eternity, Tokyo Revengers, and then it's like every summer seasonal. So
I mean, in terms of stuff, just looking at Mal, in terms of stuff that actually started airing this season, the top 4 are sequels: Slime, Kobyashi, Love Live, and Higurashi, with Remake and Vanitas as the highest new shows.
Yeah, you have Remake, Vanitas, aquatope, Sonny Boy. I'm like, yeah, those are your anime season front runners as of right now. But we can move on. I'm just excited for Fena. I hope.
I think we are all excited for Fena. It could very well be an anime of the season contender. It is just a shame.
Princess that becomes a pirate. Yeah,
I mean, Princess who becomes a pirate. Where have we heard that before?
I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
No, I was more thinking I don't want to keep going because I am scared of copyright. But it's
What?
it's a very big franchise, and it has Johnny Depp. I know she's not technically. I know she's not technically a princess, but you know,
I heard no.
close
I heard
enough.
it was. I heard it was No, I heard it was. It was something like something similar in Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Very possible.
Ooh, interesting.
But anyway, moving on to Girlfriend Squared.
Oh yeah, I watched this.
I did not. Go ahead. Talk. Talk.
Well, it's more like Girlfriend. I guess it is. It was okay. Like, one of the things I heard like before I watched it was like Saki and Nagisa should really ditch Naoya and to really ditch the main character and date each other. And then I could
fucking dunderhead.
Yeah, and then okay, but they kind of all are. You know, this is the same guy who dated Ahura.
Like, Naoya does not seem to understand the concept of the word no when he's making a request.
Okay, but alright, yeah, he's probably right. But let me continue.
That's a very bad trait in any type of character, but especially a main character in a romance anime.
In a rom-com, yeah. But like,
I mean, he doesn't push it too far, but at the same time, he's like extremely overbearing and very dense.
To continue my notes, it was like, okay, I can understand why Nagisa's putting so much goddamn effort into a guy which she just met, spending all this time making herself look her best and even cooking a bento. I did not expect her to like her as much as I did. I kind of root for her. I'm kind of rooting for her now. She also sounds cute, so I think that helped. Meanwhile, Saki's the only one with a brain cell over here. She's like, this is wrong. But then, like, she gets peer pressured into a polyamorous. She gets like peer pressured. Yeah, I felt bad for her. I'm like, I felt
and that is exactly why I will not be watching this, because just starting a polyamorous relationship with peer pressure is horrific. That's not the way to be starting a relationship.
I mean, she knows what Naoya wants to do is like morally wrong, or at least taboo. And even she finds Nagisa to be attractive, so I kind of felt bad for her. I mean, I guess he isn't technically cheating, but like that's a slippery slope of discussion. So I'm not going to say any more of that. I thought Naoya was fine. There isn't really anything about him besides how frank and honest he is. And even then, another protagonist has him beat. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but Jack knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, I prefer that rom-com a lot. It recently got licensed in English, so I prefer that one a lot more than this, as of right now, even for the first episode. I mean, my favorite joke was definitely Naoya mentioning the term threesome only for the sub to be interrupted by a kettle. That was pretty funny for me.
I find it hilarious they decided to bleep that out.
Yeah, they bleeped it out with the kettle. Yeah, that was fun. It doesn't look all that good. I mean, like, I only listened to the OP multiple times because, like, I play MQ. What were you gonna say?
Remember, this manga debuted just over a year ago.
Yeah, it debuted over a year ago, and I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be a bunch of shorts. Yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be I thought it was gonna be a bunch of shorts. I'm like, okay, that might suit its style more. No, it's full-length episode. Why?
The animation is kind of stilted quite a bit in quite a few sections.
I think they prioritize like detailed character drawings, making the characters look good over actually animating them. And I can kind of understand why, because that OP sucks. I don't like the visuals of the OP. It's like they tried to animate, but it didn't animate well. The
OP is admittedly a ball. It is a good OP. It's just the visuals kind of suck.
The visuals suck. The song. Okay, I didn't like the song, but the song's growing on me. I think Duke of Death's the best one I've seen so far, but the song's growing. OP, but like the song on Girlfriend's growing on me. I mean, I was planning on reading them.
About OPs, I think Idaten Deities actually has my favorite OP so far. I will get to that.
I don't remember the Idaten Deities.
Idaten Deities was trippy on the level of Mob Psycho's first OP.
Oh, right. I forgot. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
That was trippy. That was very
super trippy.
All right, no. We'll talk about that later. Idaten Deities.
We'll talk about it in a little while. We'll talk about it in a very short period.
Idaten Deities is going to be a discussion.
It is going to be a discussion.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this to complete. I mean, I'm gonna watch Girlfriend to completion because I was planning on reading the manga anyway. So, but like, eh, I mean, it's fine if you're in. It's a fine rom com. Unless you like, it does do that whole. I mean, it's a basic rom com if you could get past the whole cheating polyamorous relationship aspect. I could tolerate a lot of things. Uh, I couldn't tolerate Mother of Goddess's Dormitory apparently, but I could tolerate this. So it's a fine rom com. Wouldn't say it's as good as others I've seen, but yeah,
I
you can
mean,
watch it if you want to watch it. It's fine.
rom-coms have to, well, I would say the best. I'm trying to think of the rom-coms that I've watched. The one that comes to mind for me is Tonikawa. So I actually enjoyed that one.
I don't know if I'm still kind of surprised you ended up liking that because I remember you.
I'm surprised I ended up liking that. I spent the entire first episode making jokes about how NASA thought with his dick.
Yeah.
I made a fucking.
That's one of your all-time favorite rom-coms.
I made a reference to Gravity Falls, which was making a reference to Groucho Marx. How did that happen? And I still ended up liking it.
Yeah.
So fair fucking play to Tonikawa. I think it ended up. Where the fuck did it end up in its ranking for me? Like 9th?
Top 5, top 10, I think.
It was good.
Let's quick look. Where the fuck it ended up? I think it was like 10th. It was 10th, just squeezing in. It helped that it was in It helped that it was in the same season as fucking Adachi and Shimamura, so it was such a breath of fresh air in terms of a romance. But still.
Anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, so just better rom-coms out there, so moving on.
But moving on
to yet another isekai.
How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom.
Okay, I've heard these. Okay, I don't know. I've heard mixed opinions on this.
I've read some of the light novels, and I think it's pretty interesting, honestly. Like, it's kind of like an isekai with some Maoyu or Spice and Wolf vibes, but not quite to the same level as those two shows, I guess.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's still interesting because it takes a more political world building approach. This is I think the most similar isekai is Slime, except unlike in Slime, the protagonist isn't remotely overpowered. He's actually pretty much kind of a weakling because he has no combat skills whatsoever.
There's another anime that's gonna be similar to that that's coming out. I think it's called a genius prince's guide to raising a nation out of debt. Hey, how about treason? Something like that.
Yeah,
I think that one's similar.
They are, to my knowledge, they are similar, but this is the one I know more about.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
This is the one I heard was pretty good.
It's fairly good. It's fairly good.
Yeah. So I was planning on watching that.
I do feel like it will get better as it goes on. And at the pacing it's going, I think it's not going to adapt past the second or third novel in the series. Which
sounds typical of an anime adaptation, of a light novel adaptation. They usually adapt like 3 volumes.
Light novel adaptations adapt 3 or 4 novels.
Yeah.
This one I think isn't going to go more than 2, maybe 3.
Meanwhile, you have 86, which is just 1 volume.
Yeah, 86 was an exception, though.
Yeah, it was an exception.
I do appreciate that this one is taking its time, though, because like this one requires a lot of world building and exposition, I think, to kind of get its approach across. I do also appreciate that it's going for more of a bit of a slow burn romantic development between the protagonist and his primary love interest, rather than having her instantly fall in love with him for some stupid reason.
Good. I like it. I love me a good slow burn romance. Just build those feelings up, and it's satisfying.
Yeah, no, it's like she's like, I can kind of respect this guy. He knows what he's doing, and he isn't being an asshole, and he is he's actually competent. Oh, he's actually doing good things.
Yeah.
Maybe he is admirable as a person.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of approach to romance instead of, oh, ooh, you rescued me from certain death. I shall love you forever.
Cough, cough, the last dungeon archetype.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't
But
like the
yeah.
fact that she was a yandere, though.
I didn't like a lot of things about her, but that didn't help.
Anyways,
no, you were really
this
talking about her being a yandere. But anyway, moving on.
this one's a pretty good one. I would recommend keeping an eye on it as it goes on, because it will get better as the season goes on, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Anyways, moving on to a show that we are
Idaten
going to be
Deities.
talking about quite extensively.
Okay, so first things
right.
things first. Before we start talking about this, content warning. We will be talking
trigger warning, content warning.
pretty in depth about rape. So if you do not feel comfortable about that, mute it until the picture changes.
Do you want to talk about that first, or do you guys want to build up to that?
Let's
the
talk
final
about
scene? You want to rip the Band-Aid first? You want to rip the Band-Aid off first?
I kind of do. But
okay, yeah,
give people a few seconds.
Let me just go into this.
Let's just give people a few seconds to mute if they need to. As said, mute and wait until the picture changes to Jahy-sama.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm like, so when I was watching this, I was like, okay, for like something made by the creators of Dragon Maid and Native Species Reviews, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then I remember Jack threw out a content warning before I watched it. I'm like, okay, it might just be all the excessive gore because I like this action. It's great. And then the final scene happened.
Yeah.
That is quite possibly one of the most jarring rape scenes I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah, it's not even the rape itself. It's the fact that it's so jarring. Like you have.
It is kind of the rape itself.
Music.
It is kind of the rape itself.
That also, but like, that also does not
work.
It doesn't work. I mean, I guess there might be a reason for it, but I haven't watched episode 2.
I think they might have been going for like a Clockwork Orange vibe with the actual stylization of the scene, but still, like, totally, it does not.
Apparently, it was more graphic in the manga.
Yeah, no.
So they kind of like it was just a result of sex, but it was just like it just really unsettled me. Also, the fact like in the end, like
episode like that as like.
No,
it does not fit totally with the rest of the at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, I get
and also,
the contrast, but like, no, that was a very bad way to implement it.
It's like, oh yeah, okay, so you had this cool shonen action with like all this good animation and like all these neat, cool color palette which switches all that, got interesting premise and all that, neat characters. All right, how do we end this? Let's have a nun get raped. I'm like, why? I'm like, what?
Clockwork Orange the scene, so it's stylized against the backdrop of stained glass.
Look. Here's the thing. The issue is not necessarily with the rape itself. If you want to use rape as a storytelling device, fine. It's scummy, but it's an easy way to provoke emotion.
Way to, like, antagonize.
Feel vile.
Make a villain feel vile.
But
I mean, Sword Art Online does it like once every season, so
it's how you handle it that's important.
But don't fucking show it on screen. No show needs to show rape on screen.
Even if you're stylizing it and making it fancy with all sorts of silhouettes and stained glass backgrounds, that doesn't make it better.
No,
it doesn't make it better.
Why? Why would you do this?
No. The fact that it was stylized really actually made me unsettled. It actually helped. It actually unsettled me more. It doesn't help that the fact that the final scene was just her like pleading and her body's still moving, so it's still happening. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It is deeply disturbing as a scene,
and it kind of sucks because it kind of just like really puts a damper on the rest of the episode because I actually was looking forward to this and I actually really liked it.
I mean, without that scene,
really good.
Without that scene, this episode is top 3 for me. But It happened,
no,
and
It's
like,
still
I can't
top
forget it.
3 out of things I've watched, but I haven't watched much. And like, it's like it's behind Duke of Death, obviously, and also Sonny Boy. It would have been like my favorite premiere of the season if it wasn't for that. But like, damn, really? That came out of nowhere too.
It's just really painful.
Yeah, it's just so unnecessary.
But,
It really is. But in terms,
anyways, well, let's move on to the good stuff,
yeah.
because
Let's move on
talk
to the
about
good
OP.
stuff, which is
The
everything
OP is
else.
fucking great. The
The
OP
OP
is
is a
fucking
trip.
great.
Okay, I hope you're not like. I worry about it. I worry about people. I worry about epileptic people watching this because that OP is a trip, and you got all these flashy colors everywhere at points.
Yeah.
I think they might have dimmed it, but like, either way, that OP is a trip. It's definitely
And the song that
visually
goes
striking,
with it is really
and
good.
the song's pretty. Yeah, the song matches it really well too.
Like, it's really hard to go wrong with that OP. But like, the color palette and the action animation for the show is also extremely on point.
Yeah.
Very much
it just
so.
felt like a really good shonen. It just, I mean, it struck me as like a really good battle shonen to me.
I mean,
a good comparison would probably be Fire Force.
Yeah, let's also make this clear. Hayato is voiced by Romy Park. Obviously.
AKA Edward Elric.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And Esley, I recognized it damn near immediately, is voiced by Megumi Ogata. Voiced Hanako in Total Hanako-kun.
Oh,
I
and
remember.
rounding out the main voice
Megumi
cast is
I know Megumi
Akumi Okamura as Rin, who you may recognize from other classics as Detective Conan, Fruits Basket, the original version, and
the original Fruits Basket.
Yeah. And what else was?
But yeah, this is just a really good show.
Yeah.
This is the really. I mean, it's a really. I mean, you have like all this animation and like a lot of gore, but they're gods, so I guess it makes sense. So I guess it.
Oh, she's fucking Nami in One Piece. Is Rin?
Oh, okay.
That's where I recognize her voice from.
Yeah.
Oh, and Yui Fourier voices the fourth main character, Paula.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yui Fourier. Okay.
She's in fucking everything this season, I swear.
Yeah. You just get those seasons sometimes. You get those seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was
Where,
enjoyable.
Kendra Osuda was and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when we started memeing Kenjiro Suda, because I think he was the first voice actor we realized. Yeah, he's kind of everything.
Yeah.
He was in everything one season.
But yeah, this was really enjoyable. It had a good dynamic between Rin and Hayato. Hayato, Hayato worked well with the rest of the main cast. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
The comedy was on point. The action looked good, and so it really was.
I was a bit jarred. I was a bit jarred by like how like Rin punished Hayato. Yeah, all this blood. But I'm like, they're gods. So I'm like, I gotta get used to it. But again, like the action was great. The characters are fun. The action's great. I love like the way it switches color palettes and all that. I kind of
because that was really cool.
To watching the episode again.
It gave me some JoJo.
The final scene. So the final scene.
Yeah, no, the color palette thing was really cool because Hayato has like dark blonde hair, but when they were in the Arctic, it was more of a light blue.
Yeah, no, it was a really neat palette switch, and I hope it does more of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope it really does
really
more
neat
of
aesthetic choice.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to more of this. With caution, obviously, but yeah, I'm just looking like.
I mean, honestly,
I'm just looking forward
if I'm being straight with you guys, if it does do a scene like the last scene of this episode again, I am going to consider dropping this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
like, I mean, definitely if it does it, I'm gonna drop it if it does it again in the next 2 episodes, up until episode 3 because I only watched episode 1. So yeah, I ended on that today.
I only watched episode 1, and I'm like, because like I was watching this right before the shoot. I'm like, whoever decided to release the first 2 episodes was a genius because holy crap!
But yeah,
well, apparently,
like
the scene in question, in the manga, happened concurrently with a conversation between Eastleigh and Paula in the second episode that makes the juxtaposition work a bit better. Basically, outlining why, despite all the war going on, the Idaten Deities only know peace.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they decided to insert at the end of episode 1 in
they
a jarring
decided.
tonal thing. So I don't know what
Yeah,
the fuck
I don't know why they decided to do that because like I think that's the big reason because like I think that choice is why they released the first 2 episodes because otherwise you just have this rape scene and that's not good.
Yeah,
and that's not
not
going
a,
to generate any good publicity at all.
But yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch the second episode and see like what's up with why that was in there, and maybe I can understand why they did that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can understand why that scene was in there. But
yeah,
it just,
if it happens
it's
again,
a really good show.
If it happens again within 3 episodes, I'm definitely dropping it. If it happens again after that, I might give it another chance depending on how long it takes. Because if it happens again in the next couple of episodes, that means I feel like that means it's going to be a trend, and I'm not willing to watch that. If it happens again, sort of close to the end of the show, then maybe I can forgive it. But it really is so disappointing for something like that to mar such an entertaining premiere. Like just the fucking gag of like him trying to get away with the plane and Nestle being like of the old doctor trying to get away with the plane and Nestle being like, this is a jet that can go Mach 2. Shame Hayato's still gonna catch up. It's just. And then Hayato going, wait, humans can die from falls, right? I might have made a mistake here.
Yeah. That was
mistakes have been made.
Yeah.
Errors have been made.
And then the old doctor going, I'm gonna do something everyone wants to do. Press the self-destruct button.
Yeah.
See, that's the good shit. That's the good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit.
I mean, again, it might turn out to be, like Goblin Slayer, where that scene in the first episode wasn't representative of the show as a whole, but we just have to see. It's just so frustrating that it had to do it. Especially in that kind of way.
At the very least, it happened I don't even know which one was worse, because I think Goblin Slayer was worse because, like, you started with that whole scene, so everyone talked about it, but then I think it was more popular too, so it made a bigger splash.
There is also the question of if the nun is just going to be a throwaway character or a recurring character.
Well, the nun is at the bottom left of the key visual. The nun's
in the key visual.
Yeah.
She's in the bottom left of the key visual. So
50-50 on that happening.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to another show that hasn't aired yet. Jahy-sama will not be defeated.
I'm looking. Okay, I don't know if I'm looking forward to this or not. I've heard good things about it. So I do plan on watching it. I might like it.
I mean, I'll give it 3 episodes, but I'm not expecting a massive amount from it, honestly. It has potential.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, by all indications, everything I've heard about it tells me that it is in a similar vein to The Devil is a Part-Timer. And I did enjoy what I watched with that.
Yeah. And a lot of people did.
It sounded something more like cute girls doing cute things, like something like Gabriel Dropout or Machikano Masaku.
I mean,
or the Girl Next
Door. The issue I've
strikes me as that.
The issue I've just discovered is it is being done by Silverlink, who are also working on Dungeon of Black Company and Bakarina Season 2, so there's a possibility this might be the one that falls by the way. Well, one of Dungeon of Black Company or Jahy-sama might fall by the wayside. I doubt they would let Bakarina fall by the wayside.
This is also 2 core apparently, which is weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. This is 2 core.
Of the 3, I feel like Black Company is going to fall by the wayside because this one's 2 core and Bakarina is a sequel to a popular franchise.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just have to see.
I mean, this has
Maybe
Kana Hanazawa in it, so that'll be
Oh,
interesting.
that's
Neat.
good. She's good.
Yeah.
Jahy
Oh, and
herself
Ayano
voiced.
is also.
Yeah. What has Jahy's voice actress done? Not a massive amount, honestly. Oh,
Wait,
she
let me check.
she was fucking Mado in Heaven's Design Team,
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
dang.
she was Uzaki in Uzaki. And
She was also briefly in One Piece,
Mhm.
as is almost every fucking Seiyu. Jesus Christ.
She was
It's
also
One Piece. You had like 500.
yeah.
She's Satania from Gabriel Dropout. She was the girl that everyone memed from Gabriel Dropout.
Mm.
Yeah.
She was also
They're
Mario.
really going for that.
She was also Mario in World Trigger, which is only something
she's
people
Chio
have
from
watched.
Chio School Road. She's Chio from Chio School Road, actually.
Anyway,
so that's still a pretty good resume.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm sort of excited. Well, not really excited, but I have
I have an interest.
I have an interest in this. I'll give it a few episodes, see what it's like.
The great Jai will not be defeated. We'll see.
Yeah.
About that.
We'll see if it gets defeated.
On,
but moving on to yet another show that hasn't dropped yet. God damn it. Magia Record Season 2.
Oh, yep, right. There's a lot of late premieres. When does this come out?
This season is just really spread out.
This comes out July 31st. I believe
next Saturday.
July 31st.
Okay. At least it'll make the 3 episodes. At least it'll make the 3 episodes.
Yeah. The only one that won't make
although it is a sequel.
Is the only one that won't make 3 episode check-in is Fena, which is premiering a week later.
And this will definitely be discussed because if nothing else, Jack is interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not. I watched a few episodes of it. Got very busy and never went back to it. Which is not. To be fair, does not say anything about the show. It says more about me.
I rewatched. I just watch OG Monica because that's better. But,
yeah, probably should have, but you know. I'm fairly sure.
I watched the original. I rewatched Madoka Magica and really liked it. I need to and I haven't watched anything beyond that, so I need to watch the movie and then I'll watch the side story. But I'm probably gonna do a whole binge on that franchise later because they finally announced the 4th movie. So I'll just wait until that's during release and then I'll just do it again.
I mean, as it is, Jack, I have far too big a catch-up list without adding Madoka to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Mel, it's written by Gen Urobuchi, the guy who wrote your favorite puppet show.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the puppets. The puppets are the key aspect of it.
And also, it's Gen Urobuchi before he wrote the puppets, so I don't think he cares.
He doesn't care anymore now.
Before he found his passion in life. Before he found his passion in life.
He's a fantastic author. It's hard to go wrong with Gen Urobuchi, honestly.
I know, but as I said, I've just got so much.
I've been meaning to watch Fate, and I know Fate Zero is part of it. Thing is, I have to watch Fate 2006, and I don't know how I'm going to watch that. Mainly because it just tries to adapt all 3 routes, and I don't want to be spoiled on them. So we'll see.
That's Magia Record is directed by the people who make the puppets.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's from the same studio.
Now it's the same. It should be much of the same.
Or at least some of the same staff.
Yeah, some of the same staff. Like Aki, I think maybe Aki Kishino.
But yeah,
but we can move on.
There's a lot of creative team overlap between the Madoka anime stuff and the Taiwanese puppets. So
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was, because obviously Urobuchi will have brought in his own people. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Taiwanese puppets.
Taiwanese motherfucking puppets.
Yeah.
I will watch it at some point, Mill. I just can't tell you when.
Just
I'm
please,
I'll watch it.
anyone, please just give the first episode a watch. You will either love it or you will hate it.
I mean, I'm planning on watching. I'm planning on watching it. I hear it's really good.
Like,
so I'm gonna watch it.
if you
I don't know
actually like enjoy it, you will enjoy every aspect of it. Like, I genuinely guarantee that. And there have been
there's a friend in the server who also really likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but
we
yeah,
at least
there have been two reactions that I've been seeing: people who just think it's dumb because it's puppets, and people who've absolutely loved it because it's puppets.
There's no middle ground.
There is no middle ground that I've seen.
I think if you get used to the puppets, it's actually really good. I mean, it's getting Urabuchi. So
here's the thing: the fucking fights are better choreographed than some massive shonens. The choreography is superb.
Okay. Anyways, we should be moving on now to a sequel that has come out.
Miss Kobayashi's
Dragon
Dragon
Maid
S, or Season 2. The first anime.
I watched the first season.
Yeah, let's before we even talk about the show, let's just, all be very glad that KyoAni has recovered.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I believe this is their first serialized anime that they've released.
Show.
Yeah.
This is their first TV show since The Fire.
Yeah.
Which was 2 years.
They have released beyond that, they have released a Violet Evergarden OVA and movie. But those
but those were like those were finished by the time The Fire happened.
Yeah.
So
this is their first production that was primarily made and released after The Fire.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they're back on their feet. And honestly, condolences to all.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say they recovered, but I mean, I wouldn't say they've recovered. I don't know how you can recover from that, but again, I'm glad that they're moving forward. Moving forward.
I'm glad that they are back and making good shows because this is
I like Dragon Maid. I really like Dragon Maid.
This first episode had some great action cuts and some really fun comedy.
Yeah. I haven't really watched season 2, but I made sure to watch the opening, and my goodness, it's a bop. It's another bop. It's probably the best opening. It's the best opening I've seen this season so far.
I don't put it on the same tier as the first opening, but it's
still
it's
not. But it's still really good.
Also, as I was saying, the first bit, the comedy bit with Toru trying to work at a maid cafe and failing, and instead being the chef at a maid cafe and getting better reviews as a chef than as a maid was hilarious.
Oh, okay. She didn't cook her tail this time.
No, she did not cook her tail. She actually cooked food, and people were giving her rave reviews for it.
Yeah.
Just that whole first skit was great, and the fight scene between Toru and Alulu was also really fun.
Yeah, KyoAni's one of those studios I'm please do an action anime, because you see what they could do with their action. I'm I want this. I need to do an action anime, please.
I mean, I think Violet Evergarden is the closest they have ever come to doing an action anime.
No, I think the closest one might be Beyond the Boundary, but I'm not exactly sure. I haven't seen that one yet. Then again, they also did Full Metal Panic. But that's a while ago. The second raid. They did the second raid. They did season 2. Or was that season 3? I don't fucking know.
Regardless, Dragon Maid is still good Dragon Maid, and the first episode ends with a unique cliffhanger that I will not spoil here. But regardless, I would, if you like the first season, you'll almost really like this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil
and
what
it comes
happened
back
at the end
with I call it warts and all. It's still Dragon Maid. It's still really good.
It does have issues.
It's got stuff. Yeah, it does have some people might not entirely be into it.
Hello.
I knew about New Dragon.
Lulu's design does raise some concerns, with the. It's
not even the design, just what she does.
Yeah, just what over again. True, that too.
Just what she does.
That too.
Yeah.
But
I was
yeah.
more worried about like how people would react to what she does instead of like her design.
I
Although her
mean,
design is also kind of convention, so
hmm
uh
anyways,
but anyway, it's
we
still
should
Dragon Maid. It's
move
still pretty good.
on.
We should move on.
Move on to My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to Doom season 2, aka Bakarina. I did not like this
Yeah,
premiere.
Bakarina X. I
I
didn't watch
like.
this either.
The
Oh,
premiere just felt like it was
I will.
treading
I
water.
will. I mean,
Having watched the second and third episodes, it does pick up afterwards. The premiere does seem to be half recap, half premiere, though, which is unfortunate because like the new stuff that is there is pretty good. But yeah, this one I will say like it gets better in the second and third episodes, and by actually introducing the plot of the season,
Yeah.
which helps a lot with keeping the momentum up. But the first episode does feel like a bit more slice of lifey, I guess is the word for it.
I mean, it just felt like the entire episode was devoted to reintroducing everyone.
Yeah, that's why I said it was half recap.
And reintroducing all their dynamics, some of which I had forgotten about and realized I still don't like.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think I know which ones.
Want to take a guess?
I haven't watched the first couple episodes, but what
I was gonna say Giordo and Keith.
Yeah, do not like them just, being fucking jealous dicks to each other. Just seems unnecessary.
Well, I just don't like Giordo in general, so I'm with you there.
I
feel like Giordo is probably the worst love interest of the harem.
I mean, I will say that it definitely managed to get some smiles from me, which was more than I was expecting based on early parts of the episode. I'm also glad that the Sirius is still around.
Yeah, Sirius is a fun character, and I like him.
I mean, I like his design more than anything else, but I'm just glad he's still around.
Well, his name is Raphael, and he's going by that now. Even though his original the name he was originally introduced under was hilarious.
I barely
Sirius Deke.
Yeah. I barely remember some of these people's names. You're not gonna. I completely forgot he was called Raphael. Frankly,
maybe that's why there was a recap bill to remind you of who these characters were.
I can remember the others. Okay, I can remember the others. That was the only one I didn't remember, and that was because he spent the entire. And that was right. That was because he spent the entire run of the show as Sirius before changing his name back to Raphael at the end. Yes. I remember the character very well because he was yet another entry in anime Boy or Girl.
Anime.
I don't think he's as egregious as some of the other examples we've seen recently.
Well, the issue was not like certainly he wasn't as egregious as say Akira from Kemono Jihen, but the issue was the first time we saw him, or the first times we saw him, was in the OP where he obviously doesn't talk. So all we had to go off was a fucking picture of him, and he looks very androgynous.
Fair.
Even knowing that he's male, I can still be fooled a little bit. I would argue, but it's beside the point. I mean, the good stuff that happened in this was the other Stewart brothers.
Yeah. I also do appreciate the little showing of Katarina having friends outside of her harem.
Yeah, that was quite nice. It's always nice when it's shown that the main character has interests outside of the main cast.
Yeah. And I also do love Maria just being such a sweet, just trying her damnedest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Maria is my favorite of the group, honestly. But yeah, no, Bakarina is fun. It does get better as the season goes on, so,
I look forward to that. It's, well, it's not even in a season like this. It's not hard to say that it's a more packed season than what was it, spring 2020 when the first season of this aired.
Oh god, that was such a light season because everything got delayed.
Well, frankly, the only reason I kept watching it is because I had like 2 other shows. I was like, well, I might as well, and I'm fairly sure I binged through a lot of it.
I don't think Bakarina makes for good binging, personally.
It probably didn't. That probably didn't help me getting very, very tired with Jordo and Keith's back and forths.
Yeah, see, a lot of comedy shows do not work well as binges.
So we'll see how it does with me going week to week.
Yeah.
Or another show that I'm interested to see how it does week to week for me. Wait,
one more thing. One more thing about Bakarina. I was waiting for you guys to finish. I don't really have anything to say except for this. Hey, let's announce a visual novel and make none of the female interests playable, dateable.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
I've heard about that.
In the biggest example of a bisexual harem, they do that.
Yeah,
I'm some people are like, oh yeah, it's a visual novel. Of course they won't have. Some people are like, it's a visual novel. I don't know what you expect. Okay, but it's Bakarina. I'm like, it's Bakarina. The bisexual harem is the point.
To explain to the audience, they are apparently making a visual novel based off of the series, and apparently only the male love interests in the harem can be romanced in the visual novel, which kind of defeats the purpose because half the appeal of the series is the fact that half of the love interests are female. And I don't know who the fuck authorized
people
that.
People are watching this isekai that don't watch other isekai.
Yeah.
It's
overall, it's a very puzzling decision.
Yeah.
Some people just say, well, it's a visual novel. It's not like an otome game or something. Well, it's based off an otome game.
Visual novels. What?
No. Okay, I meant to say some people are like, it's an otome game. So like, of course, only all the males are romantic. My mom like, it's Bakarina though.
There are otome games with female love interest options for female main characters.
Moving on before we spend the rest of the stream ranting about this. Nighthead 2041.
Okay, how was this?
I was actually quite interested by this. It helped that. No, I still am. I'm fairly interested in this. Like I want to see how it goes. So basically, it's the year 2041. Japan is now basically basically made illegal beliefs. So you're not allowed to.
Crime. Fun stuff.
Yeah, thought crime. Exactly, thought crime. And they've set up like I can't remember what their exact name is. They've set up the SWE. As I said, I can't remember exactly what that stands for. That basically like arrest people for thought crimes. Hilariously, I can't stop laughing at this. Hilariously, their target in the first episode is a guy named Miracle Mick, who has gained followers by doing magic tricks.
What?
It's great. It's fucking great. These followers believe in Miracle Mick's magic tricks so much that they are fucking picking up assault rifles and shooting these soldiers. Anyway, so it's split a little bit because one part of the episode focuses on the Kuroki brothers, Yuya and Takuya, who are part of the SWE. The other part focuses on the Kirihara brothers, Naoya and Naoto. Naoto being voiced by Daisuke Ono, which is quite fun. So the Kirihara twins have like psychic powers and have been locked up in some sort of research facility, I think. and were released by somebody named Mikuria, who is listed in the cast list, so I assume he'll be showing up at some point. But yeah, they were released by this guy, and that guy apparently told them that the time was right for this like supernatural people to be able to live freely, which was a bold-faced lie. Meanwhile, the SWE brothers, as I said, raided Miracle Mick, managed to get him in handcuffs, but then one of them was attacked by a remaining follower of Miracle Mick's. I can't say follower of Miracle Mick without laughing, because it seems so dumb. And like, one of them is attacked by a sword, is about to get their head basically cut in two, and then the other activates their like supernatural energy and like sets off an EMP. They also see a very creepy girl who spouts cryptic statements, and was also apparently found abandoned and sort of comatose, maybe, in 2023. So, I'm interested to see where this goes, honestly. This is also CG, I should point out. This is also CG.
Oh boy.
No, it's good CG. It's quite good CG.
There are a lot of CG shows this season.
Yeah. No, this is not bad CG
sense.
at all.
Like, with the way the anime industry is, like, probably a lot more. CG's probably, like, saves money and you don't have to, like...
Oh, yeah, no.
Overwork your animators as much, I guess.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's the benefit. Sure.
But no, I'm definitely interested to see where this is going. I'm hoping it'll be good anyway. I mean, it's just got an interesting world, so I'm hoping they explore that a little bit as well. Moving on to, frankly, we just chucked this in because I saw that it had been licensed by Funimation. Obey Me.
This is based off of a
mobile game.
A mobile. Yeah, I thought so.
I believe it's a mobile game. It's 5 minutes long. It's,
oh boy.
I mean, it very much expects you to have played the game first. Because I got no explanation. I got no explanation for what the fuck was happening. All I know is that there is 7 brothers who, for some reason, were studying for a test, except they kept getting distracted by what they called a DDD, which looked like a phone. They also played a game where you like it's like a rhythm game, but instead of like pressing it, you have to make faces. I don't know what was going on. I'm not watching another episode of this. Frankly, I don't. Well, I might get it to 3 episodes just because it's 5 minutes. It's not like it takes much time out of my day. But I was just like, I don't understand what's going on here. I'm just glad that it's 5 minutes so I can watch other stuff soon. But yeah, you have Mammon, Lucifer, Leviathan, Satan, Beelzebub, Belphegor, and Asmodeus.
Oh yes, after the demon lore is corresponding to the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
How lovely.
I mean,
really? Oh wait, really? I didn't know that.
I mean,
I just remember where friggin' the 70 friggin' when what was it? What was it called again? The Lesser Key of Solomon. Yeah. And the 72
It's not
demons.
quite that.
But yeah.
I believe it's a
I mean,
reference to the
names.
Gosha.
Oh, the Ars Gosha. That's what it. Yeah, the Ars Gosha. That's what I was talking about.
But yeah, I mean, there is a review up on Mal for it, where somebody who has played the game likes it. Apparently, it's an Otome game.
That does not surprise me.
With apparently a gender-neutral MC, so
that's
good for them. Good for them. Good for Obey Me. Like, I'll give them props for that.
Yeah.
I just Like, I'm not gonna shit on Obey Me. Like, it's my fault because I haven't fucking watched, I haven't played the game, so I obviously have no idea what's going on. So I'm like, but, you know, based on this guy's review, it's apparently good, so, if you've played Obey Me, give the anime a try. It's only 5 minutes.
Hey, it might just be a good supplement for the game. Who
Yeah,
knows?
who the fuck knows? I don't, it's just, anyway, moving on to, what is actually, I wouldn't say surprised, but it was a very good premiere. Opera Girl, aka Kageki Shoujo.
That's what it's called.
Opera
Pretty sure
Girl.
the title is officially on Funimation Kageki Shoujo.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm still gonna I've got it listed as Opera Girl here. We can keep calling it Kageki Shoujo, I suppose, but you know.
I'm just gonna call it totally not review Starlight.
I mean, in the
What
first.
are you talking about? The draft is right there in the key visual. It's Sarasa, right?
There's also the fact that in that first episode, I absolutely saw the Claudine and Maya duo. Like,
I mean, to be fair, it's based on it. I mean, they draw from the same inspiration, both shows. So,
yeah.
I mean, the comparisons are inevitable, but it's Starlight, so of course, we're going to talk about Starlight.
I mean, if you enjoyed Starlight, you'll probably enjoy this. It doesn't have the same action so far that we've seen, but it was definitely still a very enjoyable show.
Oh, this is very good stuff. Though I will say that there are some content warnings for episode 3. I don't want to get into it now because that's for the 3-episode check-in, but there is some stuff in episode 3 that you should be wary of.
Even not knowing exactly what it is, it is fairly. You can figure it out even based on the first episode what it is. I mean, I haven't watched episode 3, but I'm fairly sure I have a good guess about what it is, based on the characterization of I.
Yes. There is also some mild fat shaming in episode 3 as well.
Oh.
But it's also from a character who is portrayed as at least somewhat in the wrong on the issue.
That's nice, at least. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was coming into this episode coming into this show expecting not to like it, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Like, I mean, how relatable is I saying, and then I don't have to be with men for 2 years? Like, good on you, knowing what you need. Sarasa is very enjoyable.
Sarasa is a Titanic tower of radiating sunshine, and I love her.
I mean, just the fucking that final scene with the fucking army dude was absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
And it actually took it in a different direction than I thought. Because honestly, going into that scene, I was worried that it would be like, oh, you know, Sarasa is being criticized for everything. No, Sarasa, out of the 4 who got taken out, Sarasa was the best of them.
Yeah, no, because she's actually got some talents.
Yeah, and the fucking army dude loves her. Like, it was great.
Like, literally his only issue is that because she's so tall, she's slightly out of sync with everyone else.
Yeah, that was his only issue. And he even praised, like, you've got really good core strength, that's good.
Which, for those who don't know, core strength is actually really important for dancing.
I mean, it's important for a lot of sports, really. But dancing for sure. But, the only thing I could probably it's more of a nitpick than anything else is slightly clunky in the way that it introduced all of the important characters with the 2 teachers just like saying, oh, this is so and so and this is so and because we're talking about them, they're clearly important.
Yeah, I can get why that might seem clunky. I can see that.
Like, it wasn't a bad scene by any stretch, but it was just a very obviously exposition-y scene. I'm hoping that the rest of the girls aren't going to be just like assholes, honestly.
I mean, some of them at least seem like they are classic jerk with a heart of gold rivals.
I mean, there's one of them. I don't know the name of them. I think based on what I remember of the character and Mal, I think their Yamada Ayako is seems quite nice.
Is she in the key visual?
Yeah, bottom left, I think.
Yeah, she seems like a nice girl from what I've seen of her in the first 3 episodes.
Though she was not a fan of the sexual tension between the Maya and Claudine XPs. She was very scared by that.
They have sexual tension between the two of them.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, rivalries like that intense will always have a sexual tension component to them.
And actually, interesting. I've just noticed this. The character that we were just talking about, Yamada Ayako, is actually voiced by Riko Sasaki, who did the ED and the insert song in Bofuri.
Oh, really? Interesting.
And both the songs I really, really enjoy. So I'm quite, that's quite a nice thing for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I'm really interested in this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, this is interesting stuff.
Though if it
be really fun.
If it introduces a giraffe, I'm out. Like an actual giraffe, especially if they're voiced by Kenshiro Suda.
Why?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I won't be out if they introduce a giraffe. I'm fairly sure they won't introduce a giraffe. But fairly sure. I can't be too sure because nobody saw the fucking giraffe coming in Review Starlight. Nobody saw that shit coming.
No, I don't think we'll see a giraffe. Toys R Us is making a resurgence, so Jeffrey should be fine. He has a job now, okay?
But yeah, the last thing I want to say about it is I do so love whenever characters just blithely go, "Oh, I'm gonna be the best at this thing." Like I loved it. I love it whenever Hinata in Haikyuu does it. I loved it in One Piece when Luffy was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill all the emperors. It's great." It's just I just love
really
that confidence.
Well, he didn't say kill. He said, "I'm gonna beat all the emperors."
No, he basically did say that. He basically so spoilers a little bit for One Piece. It's been like 4 years since this point, but still, like when Law and Luffy are negotiating their alliance back in Punk Hazard, I believe.
That was 10 years ago.
10 years? No. Oh my god! Yeah,
What was 10 years ago?
Punk Hazard.
Punk Hazard was like 8 to 10 years ago. I don't remember exactly. It was a while ago.
Either way, I can talk about it without fearing. But yeah, Law and Luffy are negotiating their alliance, and Law's basically thing is, if you come on, we're going to be taking out an emperor. And Luffy's like, oh, which one? I don't really care, but as long as it's not Shanks, because I want to save him for last. It's like, wait, you're planning on taking on all the emperors? Yeah, why wouldn't I? I'm going to be king of the pirates. It's like, it's great. I love it. I absolutely adore that kind of thing. So I was really glad when Sarasa basically just said, oh, I'm going to be top star. Yeah, that's great. Cool. I know the name for that now. Awesome. It's just like, okay. Blind confidence. I love it.
Like vibes intensify.
The only, well, it's not really a negative, but obviously the episode ends as a assumedly creepy fan discovers Ai's location.
Yep.
I'm assuming he's a creepy fan. He may not be, but it's a good bet, I feel.
Speaking of I do appreciate that Sarasa doesn't instantly befriend her.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
there are two.
I mean, their fucking things in their room is just fucking great. I putting up a fucking curtain.
And it not working as intended in the slightest.
Yeah, because fucking Sarasa just laid down on the floor and had her legs sticking out because she's so tall.
Yep.
Ugh. Moving on though to Peach Boy Riverside. I'm not sure how to feel.
This one is an interesting case because the first chronological episode is the 4th airing episode.
Yeah.
They just fucked around with the airing order of this for some inexplicable fucking reason.
Okay, so first things first, can we just speak to the cultural impact of Looney Tunes? Because obviously we've got Frau, who is a hare folk, and who loves carrots. Carrots aren't good for rabbits. Bugs Bunny has tricked a generation, more than a generation, 2-3 generations of people, into thinking carrots are good for rabbits.
Wait, carrots are not good for rabbits?
No, they're bad for rabbits. They're bad for rabbits.
No, the actual orange part of the carrots are bad for rabbits. They can eat the leaves just fine.
But they only eat the orange bits in shows.
Yeah, no. I mean, it makes sense that Bugs Bunny would trick people since he is the modern trickster.
But again, it's just
Bunny is just so popular.
It's just the cultural impact of it.
Arguably one of the cultural impact. Arguably the only character, like there are very few characters that are above Bugs Bunny and more cultural impact. Hell, Spaceship 2 is out.
I mean the other example of the cultural impact Looney Tunes has had is Bugs calling Elmer Fudd Nimrod. And it's now become known as like an insult, but Nimrod was actually like a mythological hunter of some kind, I think, something like that.
Yeah, no, he was, if I remember correctly, he was from the Bible, and he was either a tyrant or a hunter.
Yeah, I think he was a hunter
because widely feared.
I think he was a hunter because again, it makes sense with Elmer Fudd. Again, it's just so interesting the cultural impact of something like that. It's so interesting to me. Anyway, this is Peach Boy Riverside. Yeah. I just wanted to get that out of the way because it would not get out of my mind while I was watching the episode of just Bugs Bunny caused this. Even in Japan, Bugs Bunny is bigger than science. I mean, even with a clearly out of order airing thing, it is still interesting, I feel. I think it is an interesting episode. I mean, the whole Bigot Village thing was a bit ham-handed, I feel, but I mean, at least they didn't sort of. It was never sort of seen as the village was in the right. Like they were always the bad guys in that situation, thankfully, which can't be said for all anime.
Not all racism is bad.
It can't be said for all anime that the racists are the bad guys, which is a shame, but it does seem to be the case in this one.
I do also appreciate the dynamic Sally and Frau have.
Yeah, it's a good dynamic. It's a good dynamic.
Not enough anime focused on female friendships.
Yeah. And I did like the Walrus Ogre set. I thought it was
interesting.
I thought it was an interesting enough dude.
I do like his design and how different it is from all the other ogres.
Well, we're now on a streak of 2 seasons in a row with a walrus character.
I don't remember what the walrus was last season.
Oh, Taxi.
Fuck.
How did you forget?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I wasn't thinking of Anakawa as a walrus. I was thinking of him as a furry, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyways.
It's amusing that we've had two anime in 2 seasons with a walrus character, but
I don't think set's really long for this world.
I mean, probably not. I have slight hope based on the fact that he's in the key visual, but it's most likely not.
I mean, maybe he just gets that billing because he's in 2 episodes instead of 1.
I mean, the interesting thing is that his companion, whose name is, I believe, Carrot.
Meki. She's introduced as Meki, but at some point her name gets changed to Carrot.
Yeah. But she is in the OP with Sally's group, so apparently she sticks around. So maybe Set sticks around as well. Who knows? You know, don't judge. I mean, I just I like me a good walrus man. Anyway,
we do also have to address the tentacled elephants in the room.
Yeah, it's fan service heavy, which is the worst part about the episode.
And again,
fortunately, the release
so.
of episode 4, which is chronologically the first episode, confirms that it is just an imagined spot, and
right.
Sally just has a weird fixation on tentacles and imagining them in gross situations. So
still doesn't
it's not from experience; it's just from a weird imagination.
I mean, I'm glad it's not from experience, but still not necessary. Also not necessary. The kids running up and yelling, "Her knockers are huge!" Yeah, was not necessary. And then having the fucking things bounce up and down without any touching.
Yeah, no, that was also weird.
I mean, at least...
Of course, the kids got obliterated seconds later by...
I was about to say, the kids got their comeuppance by getting obliterated by blast from the ogres, so... I mean, they got their comeuppance, I guess. Bit harsh, but, you know, karma works in mysterious ways.
Mill, are you advocating for child execution in retaliation for mild perverted comments?
No, I'm just saying karma works in mysterious ways.
Okay.
You take that how you want to take it. I mean, it was an interesting thing to do, given that nothing that brutal had happened through the rest of the episode, and then they continued that by having Set just basically obliterate a group of guards.
Yeah, no, like, it suddenly goes from 0 to 11 in terms of the blood and gore.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, we straight up see a dude's guts after Set smacks him in half.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm not bothered. I know some people don't like excessive gore. I'm not especially bothered by it. I mean, I'm interested to an extent by the premise of there being multiple Momotaros, and it being more of a transformation than an actual person.
Yeah. Or more of a state of being.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's
okay. Like, it doesn't have the animation beats of the other two works by the same author that are airing this season, but it also doesn't have the glaring pitfalls that Idaten or Dragon Maid does.
I mean, it's just not, you know, it's
not remotely as spectacular as the other two, though.
No, it's absolutely not. It's good enough. I mean, the action scenes with Frau I thought were pretty good.
Yeah.
Not spectacular by any means, but I liked them.
The characters are carrying it for now, and hopefully the action will pick up as the show goes on.
I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting Mikoto. I think that'll be a real pickup for the show.
Yeah, Mikoto seems like an interesting dude.
Yeah.
Moving OG Momotaro.
Yeah. But moving on to the sports show of the season, Remake.
I think it was
I forgot this was airing. I forgot this was airing. Completely forgot. I know my friend who was into water polo, so I recommended that to him, then I forgot about it. What did you think, Mel? Did you watch sports?
You have a friend into water polo? I mean,
Yeah, she did water polo. She did water polo in high
I
school.
mean, no judging. It's just like you don't get many people who are into water polo nowadays.
Yeah, she's my best friend.
I mean,
She did water polo
fair
in high
play to
school.
them. Fair play to them. Enjoy whatever
Yeah,
sport you want to enjoy. This was
yeah.
interesting. So it, I mean, it sort of played with. Well, the main character has amnesia. He was in a car accident and lost all 3 years of junior high. What is quite nice is that having spent like half a year in a coma, he does have to do rehab and he does have to study really hard to get into high school. Which is, a more realistic take on amnesia than you get in most media, let alone anime. Um, he is, or he was previously a nationals level water polo player, but he only started in junior high. So by forgetting junior high, he also forgot everything about water polo, and it's apparently quite a difficult sport to learn. So he just gave up on that until
Would you say he was a top star of water polo?
Yes, he was a topo staro. Um, but what's I'm not sure how to feel about it, but he has an underclassman who is like I assume was like motivated to play water polo by by the main character Minato, and followed Minato to the same high school so he could play water polo with him again. Even though Minato, I'm fairly sure at that point had said he wasn't going to play water polo. So this underclassman still tried to get Minato to play. And was then aided and abetted by the water polo captain Jahy-sama, who was voiced
Shoujo.
by Todo, or Todo's VA.
Todo from
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
Subaru Kimura.
Are we gonna hear him say brother a lot?
Maybe. We'll see. And yeah, the episode ends with Minato basically hiding from those two, chasing him, trying to get him to play water polo, ending up in a neighboring high school, and being greeted with a kiss on the cheek by a girl he'd seen in a swimming magazine. So, good on Minato. Good on Minato.
What a player.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks interesting. If nothing else, there are going to be at least a number of scenes with good-looking boys in speedos. So
that is what water polo is like. Yes.
I'm not sure what else to say about it. I mean, it's very much an introductory episode. I'm looking forward to where it's going to go. I think this is going to be enjoyable for me. And hey, I always love originals. I have realized
there are several originals this
yeah,
season.
but I've realized another thing I do actually really enjoy about originals is that obviously because it's no source material, they are more likely to have a definitive ending. Because unless you become the anime becomes actually popular or it's adapting a well-known franchise, it's probably not going to get a season 2, which means the ending is either going to be sequel bait or read the manga ending, or both.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just disappointing, frankly, at times. Whereas originals, you're pretty much guaranteed to get an ending.
Yeah, for originals this season, we got Sonny Boy, Aquatope, Remake. Let's see, what else do we have? I think those three are the biggest ones that are originals.
Yeah.
I don't think any other originals of note. Oh, D-Side is also original.
Good for it.
As is Fena. Fena, of course, is original, but
yes.
I'm
optimistic for the show. It's also got a dark skinned character who I believe is at the very least half Nigerian, and
Interesting.
It's always nice when anime has a person of color, and especially without a stereotypical design as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the thick
I think
lips.
there are a couple other anime this season that also have dark-skinned characters.
Well, there's Noe in Vanitas, and then
And
there's
Sonny Boy, there's also a character who is dark-skinned.
yes. And again, none of those characters have stereotypical designs, which hopefully means there's been a turning point in anime, and they're not going to do those designs anymore, which is a false hope, and will almost certainly disappoint me.
Well, anyways, moving on to something else that deals with disappointment in your 20s. Remake Our Lives.
Remake Our Lives.
I need to watch this. This was one of my most anticipated anime of the season, and even though it was like
really good. So
I'm kind of surprised a lot of people liked it because I didn't think it'd be that popular, and yet it seems to be one of the better shows this season.
So basically, the first half of the premiere, almost the first half, like about the first. It's a double-length premiere, but the first 20 minutes or so of it are focused on the protagonist in his present-day life as someone in his late 20s who is kind of washed up and trying to make his life work. And we see him after he's already been let go from his previous job. He winds up getting another job and working his hardest to make that work. But due to circumstances beyond his control, that falls through too, and he has to move in with his parents again. But after that, he winds up getting sent back in time 10 years and gets to make a choice he'd always changed the choice he'd always regretted. And instead of going to a regular college to study economics, he goes to an art school. And the rest of the school, the rest of the the rest of the series is premised on him going back in time and reliving his college days in a different college setting and learning how to be a creative person. And he does, and it's a really interesting take on it, I feel like it handles the protagonist and his decision very well. And it also has an interesting cast of supporting characters who have a great deal of potential to grow and change throughout the narrative. Particularly the redheaded girl in key visual, who is the only other character besides the protagonist who is introduced prior to the reverse time leap.
So that is Kawasegawa Eiko.
Yes. Let's go by her given name over her surname because that's
fair, very fair,
long.
Very fair.
Yeah, I do like her dynamic with Kyoya before the time leap backwards because it is interesting.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how Kyoya bonds with the other members of the cast now that he's leaped back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a big part of the premise is him growing closer to these people whom he has a lot of whom he's met for the first time after leaping back. But yeah, no, this is a really good show. Even if the premiere is a bit long, I think it does what it set out to do pretty damn well, which is in the first half just establish the status quo pre-time leap.
Yeah.
And second half establishing a new status quo and a new direction and goal for Kyoya to move toward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way if you put it that way, I can understand why it's a double length because it really wants to. It really wants to build its character and build its character situation. Really make you feel. Really make you understand what he's been through and how he changes now that he gets the second opportunity, which I think is really welcome. So I think it used from what it sounds like, I think he used its 40 minutes very wisely.
Like my only substantial gripe with a premiere is like there's a brief mild fan service scene in the middle of it, and even then it's like mostly just play off as a joke and not really commented on, and everyone involved is an adult, so I know that's a high bar, but given anime's track record, I'm glad it passed it.
Wait, what happened? I
Just watch the
there
premiere.
was
It's not that
okay,
bad,
yeah.
honestly. It's mostly just an innuendo misunderstanding joke.
In your
Oh,
endo.
okay.
But innuendo.
In your endo.
I
I'm sorry, that one's been ingrained into me by Scrubs. It just has.
need to watch that at some point.
You really, really do.
I'm in the middle of watching Leverage, damn it.
But moving on to a show that, let's be real, we probably don't need to watch. Scarlet Nexus.
I have dropped Scarlet Nexus as of episode 3.
Yeah.
But that means I have to talk about it in 3-episode check-in.
Yes, you do. So, basic premise. Things drop from the sky called Others, which is a wonderfully creative name. So the Earth has, or certainly Japan has formed the. Is Scarlet Nexus boring you that much, Jack?
Probably.
I mean, I don't blame you. It wasn't the best premiere ever. So Japan, at the very least, maybe the whole Earth, I don't fucking know, has formed the Other Suppression Force. Again, wonderfully creative name.
Creative.
So Yuito, Nagi, Kasane, and Naomi all join. The former two are volunteers because they aren't talented. The latter two are talented and got scouted. Hooray. Why would you put, the two volunteers on one team and the two scouted people on another team and not, mix and match so you've got one from each in each team? That'd be my, strategy.
I don't know. What I do know is that this premiere is really weak.
I'm honestly shocked Nagi didn't die.
He probably should have at some point.
I feel like the death flags were so high for him.
I hear that Raise Your Flag song playing in the background right now.
God, at one point I knew all the lyrics to that.
It's a good song.
You are meaning the one that was like the theme song for the soccer World Cup?
No, I mean about the anime opening.
Oh, we are talking about entirely different songs then.
Whoops. I love how we're getting sidetracked by music because this premiere is so goddamn
We're getting
boring.
sidetracked by an 11-year-old song.
I mean, to be fair, it's a video game adaptation. I'd rather just play the video game.
Yeah,
everything I've heard has video game is.
I wanted to give it a chance because the main characters were voiced by Asami Seto and Junya Inoki, but I'm just gonna fucking play the game if I care that much about this. Apparently the game's not terrible, so...
I've heard the game is good, but at the same time it's like, so this is a subpar anime adaptation of a good game then.
Yep, Magatsu Verite remains the exception that proves the rule.
Yep.
But moving on to a very interesting anime, Sonny Boy. This was very
this
interesting.
is fucking trippy as hell. I have not watched today's episode yet, but
I watched the first episode and man, it was I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Yeah,
so,
this is directed by Shingo fucking Natsume.
Shingo Natsume, yeah. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. It was like, okay, so like the school's in like the school got like transported to like this place of nothing, and some students have superpowers, and it's basically just Lord of the Flies. I think they I don't know, some students got superpowers, some students didn't have superpowers, but then they showed they have superpowers.
I mean, yeah, my instinct
I-
is that the penalty power is actually the one of the boy with a star under his eye.
No, apparently the penalty power was like that's part of the world that they're
That
in.
was the claim, though. That was the claim.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
that's
don't
true.
trust Starboy.
I don't.
Okay, yeah.
Is super
It was,
sketchy.
that guy. I mean, have you seen his eyes? Have you seen his eyes in like half his scenes? Yeah, he crazy psycho eyes.
Like I said, Starboy is super fucking sketchy.
The other
very sus.
Yeah, the other thing that I'm predicting is that Nagara is the one who does actually have a power, and it's the one that's transporting the school.
That would be interesting.
Because the timing was very interesting, because when they were initially transported to the darkness world, he very clearly wanted to get away, and it may have just activated subconsciously. Then they changed locations again at the end of the episode, again when he was trying to maybe escape death, most likely sinking into this black void. Instead, landing safely in water. Again, that's just the connections my brain is seeing. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's a good assumption.
This is the original from the director of One Punch Man and Space Dandy. I expect this to be.
Also,
I am loving it.
No. The way Mill describes it, I actually believe him now. Since it's like Shingo Natsume, I wouldn't put it past him to like foreshadow that. Yeah, maybe that is his power.
Good foreshadowing is stuff.
Like, MC totally has power, but I didn't know that would probably be it. That makes a lot of sense. It's a really interesting premiere. Probably one of my favorites.
Good foreshadowing is something that an attentive viewer can catch and extrapolate on and get it right.
Yeah.
Without it being super obvious to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the powers look really nice too.
They look interesting, and this whole show is super fucking trippy looking. I also get, I'm getting a lot of Masaki Yuasa vibes from the character design.
You are not the only one. Lots of people have mentioned that, and I do agree. I do agree.
Yeah, it's like there's very little shading, and the way they're drawn.
They're pretty simplistically drawn, but at the same time, I think it works to kind of sell the unsettling atmosphere of this show overall.
Yeah.
Like, this is an interesting show, and I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And again, it's another case of being helped by being an original, because nobody knows what the fuck is actually going to happen.
No. It's this, Aquatope, and Remake are the three biggest originals of the season.
Yeah.
This, Aquatope, and
Remake.
Oh yeah, right, Remake. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna rewatch the first episode of this again because I really want to really just delve into it, and then I'll watch the second episode. That's probably the first thing I watch after this.
So yeah, it's
pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
So we also mentioned that this was the third show that had a person of color in it, and I believe they are actually South Asian, because the name that they're under on Mal is Rajdhani, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, that's a very South Asian name. I'm pretty sure that places them as him as probably Indian, but it's hard to say for certain. Yeah, it should be interesting to see where this show goes. Oh, of fucking course the Star Dude's name is Hoshi. Of fucking course.
Yeah.
What? Oh.
Okay. Fucking on the nose.
So, for people who are unaware, Hoshi means star in Japanese.
Yeah.
Of course the kid with a star birthmark is named Hoshi. Oh, and Hoshi is another case of anime boy or girl because he's voiced by a female voice actress and looks extremely feminine.
Yeah, but to be fair, they made sure to make sure of I'm fairly sure his gender, considering he used urinal.
True, true.
I
But the
mean,
appearance
not
doesn't
to
make it easier.
not to say that females can't use urinals. It's just they tend not to, and why would they? They're disgusting.
Yeah.
It would just be very, very odd if Hoshi were a girl and just happened to use a urinal in their first appearance. I just feel like that would
That
be a
is
bit
fair.
of a weird one. But yes,
Not incorrect.
my instinct is that they're probably a guy. But their voice actress hasn't been in that much, but was
Done a
Oicho
pretty damn good job.
in Megalobox. If you know who that
Oh
is.
shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's sort
Oicho,
of that's sort of the big one.
Yeah. Oh wow. She was also in One Punch Man. That's fun.
But
yeah.
it was a very, very interesting premiere, and I am
Yeah, it was. It really was.
and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has a lot of potential, and I hope it goes well. Moving on to a very different show.
Spirit Chronicles.
Yet another isekai.
Go
Bill's
ahead.
favorite genre of anime.
My boycott is still continuing.
Yeah. This one is a fun one because this one shows classism in full detail. Because so actually I should probably address the isekai mechanism first, because this handles it in an interesting way by having the protagonist reincarnate in a pre-existing person, but the protagonist but he doesn't override the person's personality. Rather, it just seems like he exists as memories within the other person. So Rio gets the memories of Haruto, but Rio is his own person, which is an interesting take on it that most isekai don't really utilize. But yeah, Rio is a poor orphan boy who saves a princess, and the guards try to implicate him in the kidnapping of said princess and try to beat a confession out of him because he is a lower class person, and they think they can pin their incompetence on his maliciousness. So the guards are assholes for doing that, and when other people in the upper echelons intervene and say, "No, this kid saved the princess's life. What the fuck are you idiots doing?" They get demoted for their dickishness, fortunately.
Good.
But he gets any one thing he requests, and he requests to go to magic school to learn about the power he discovered while saving the princess. So that could there is some promise in this premise and premiere.
Yeah.
That I am looking forward to seeing explored a little bit. It does help that it does seem to be at least somewhat addressing issues of classism in a medieval society.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to go super in depth on it, but I do expect it to be a recurring theme and or problem for the protagonist.
Yeah.
Because this premiere does not let up on that in the slightest. Good God, those aristocrats are assholes. Yes, let's beat this child to cover up my incompetence in guarding the princess. That'll make everything better. God. At least the author did a good job of making these people seem like absolute tools.
Yeah. And hey, they might have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
And they're Meiji. Oh wait, no, there is no dog in this one. Darn.
There is
Honestly, if
in
Scooby-Doo were...
what was that in? Peach Boy Riverside. There is a one in Peach Boy Riverside.
If Scooby-Doo were in any anime, it would automatically make it 100 times better. Except maybe One Piece. Yeah, no, this one is one of the better isekai of the season, if I'm being honest. Like, the isekai of the season ranged from fairly good to pretty bad, but this one is closer to the fairly good side of the spectrum. And it does have some interesting potential themes to explore.
Yeah.
At least based on the premiere alone. But yeah, moving on to the next show on the list.
Slime Season 2,
isekai,
Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Not a particularly great episode either. The sequels did not start off strong.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of this seemed like a bit of a recap and or catching up. Though in Slime's case, this is more like kind of a... In Slime's case, it would have been better if this had been just one continuous 2-core season as opposed to a split core.
Yeah, probably.
Because this did not feel like a premiere episode. This felt like a continuation episode.
Yeah, it was very much a planning episode. They're planning on what they're doing next, which is great and all. But if you don't show what you're gonna do next, as well, it's sort of not helped by the introduction, I feel, of Ellalude, who was kind of a dick.
I mean, he has potential to be interesting, especially given his dynamic with his daughter.
Yeah.
Speaking of whom, she's great. I love her very much.
I love those guys so much.
I love the Adventure Trio. They're really fun characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also love Veldora's introduction to the citizens of Tempest. Just because of how, like, so Veldora's back. Okay, cool. Let's throw a party then.
Let's throw a Glad to Be Alive festival.
Basically, yeah.
If I'm honest, I'm still not the biggest fan of Veldora.
I like Veldora.
I'm just not a fan of him and his stick. Slightly bigger fan of his current design, but not really his personality. Also,
I do feel like having read ahead, I do feel like Veldora does have some interesting and fun moments to shine later on.
Okay. The other thing,
I don't know if I'll get to any of those this season or not.
The other thing that I distinctly disliked, Shion's chest somehow got bigger.
Yeah. I don't think it was too much bigger, but it was still noticeable.
It was very noticeable. I don't know if like Slime Diary's design had a smaller bust and maybe that emphasized it, but it was just very, very noticeable, and I did not like it.
That is completely fair.
I did like the fact that Fuse and Gazelle both brought reinforcements for Tempest. That was quite a nice touch.
That was nice, and I do appreciate just how Fuse especially absolutely deflates when Rimuru tells him that the threat is past.
Yeah.
I thought he just took care of it on his own.
Yeah.
Like,
but he had a nice
this for nothing.
He had a nice soak in the hot springs to make up for it.
That is true. He did. But yeah, like the supporting cast of Slime is still pretty fun, and if you enjoy the cast of Slime, it's really hard to go wrong with a given episode of the series.
I do think this is probably one of the weaker ones in Season 2, but that's not really saying much given how good Season 2 has been.
Yeah. No, and Season 2 promises to the back half of Season 2 promises to delve into the conflict with Clayman, which is going to be a very fun conflict to explore.
Moving on to the last show we are covering tonight, Tsukimichi.
Oh, no, there's... Oh, yeah, you're right. There it is, last show. Tsukimichi is the last isekai on the list. How many isekai are there this season? Like 6 or something?
I think that only makes 4.
New isekai. There are like 6 total.
6 total, yeah.
But yeah, Tsukimichi is pretty fun actually. I do like that it has a bit of a satirical bent to the isekai. What with the protagonist being the child of 2 isekai immigrants to our world, and he promptly gets isekai back to his parents' home world.
Okay, that's fairly interesting. That's an interesting way of doing it.
What's also interesting is the fact that the goddess of the world is actually kind of an asshole who is very vain and very particular about the looks of people. So the protagonist looking average means that she thinks he's butt fucking ugly, and she promptly exiles him to the edges of the earth. Like, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate when series don't fantasy series don't go out of the way to portray all gods as 100% benevolent and instead show like more malevolent and or prickish deities a la classical mythology, you know?
Yeah.
Really sells the fantasy feel a bit more. I do also like that the orc girl that that Makoto befriends towards the beginning is just a sweet pig girl who is friendly with him and teaches him magic, and isn't really objectified in any way, shape, or form, and is instead treated as a regular character who is just nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, this is a fun premiere which has a nice slightly deconstructionist satirical bend to it, and I am looking forward to what it does next. It does have a lot of potential for this one, and yeah, this is fun. This is really I do like this kind of goofy fun nonsense.
Good for it. I'm still not going to watch it, but good for it. But I believe that wraps up our Summer 2021 anime premiere stream. As always, thank you for watching. We all hope you enjoyed us talking about some of these shows. As we said, the 3-episode check-in, which is the next in the summer line, will be the 7th of August. I believe that is a Saturday. In terms of other future streams, this coming Saturday we'll be discussing ReZero Season 1, which I've been shanghaied into. Sunday we will of course be returning to D&D, where we are in or close to Claude Neopole and the Forbidden Eyes, and fingers crossed none of us, especially Aldane, who has drawn the dragon's eye, will die.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
Though fingers crossed, the dragon focuses solely on Aldane.
Wow.
I know what my character's about, and he is very squishy, and I don't want him to die.
I guess that's fair, but still, wow.
I hope you don't die, but if you can draw the dragon's fire the entire time while we just beat the thing in the butt, that'll be very good for us. In fact,
I guess.
out of all of the party, you're the best one for it to focus on, surely.
Yes, I am the tank. That doesn't mean I want to die by dragon breath.
You can take it. Anyway, that's Sunday, and Mass Effect streams should return on Tuesday, and then the Thursday after that, I don't think we have anything scheduled at the moment, so we'll see what we can rustle up to do next Thursday. But otherwise,
thank you as always for joining us for this slightly longer than usual stream.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the anime streams, it's actually quite a bit shorter.
True. Usually our anime streams go like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is not the case today. So as always, thank you for watching. Please do give us a follow on Twitch to get notifications of when we next stream. Follow us on Twitter for up-to-date info on when we stream. And subscribe to us on YouTube, where the archives go up the day after they become unavailable on Twitch. Otherwise, as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Later.
Good night.